I'd like to make an observation.
Yes.
You guys had me on for 2 of the most commonly hated arcs, 2 of the most commonly hated villains, 2 of the most controversial Sanji arcs. I'm just saying.
Well, we haven't even got to.
Y'all don't like me.
No, Merphy.
You're like, oh, good.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the Anime and Manga Podcast, where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today, we are back with more Done Piece, which means that today, my name is Josh Nothing Michaels.
Ooh.
And today, I am joined by...
Mehgan, Mermaid Perrine. I was a mermaid for this, but I kind of lost it. Yeah, yours was way better. Yours was way better.
We have a very special guest, and I thought you were gonna come out hot.
Okay, a Mehgan, a Trouchous Perrine, a Trouchous Perrine.
Trouchous?
Yeah.
Are you just making up for the fact that you didn't get those fish puns in the last episode?
I did. Yeah. I'm trying to get him. I'm squeezing him in. I'm squeezing him in this time. I don't care what you say.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Today we're covering the finale of Fishman Island, and we're not doing it alone. We are joined once again by a very special guest. Everybody make some noise for Merphy Napier. She's back. She's back. She's back.
Chanting.
Merphy, how are you? Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back it was by popular demand. People were asking for it.
No, yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I tried to, because you guys dress up, tried to do a poor man's Madame Charlie, but you can't actually tell that I'm wearing the hood, so it
looks
failed.
sick.
No, it doesn't. Don't lie.
I mean, it blends in with your hair, but
terribly.
I like that. We need it. Just tell us the future of what One Piece holds. Give us some I'm just kidding. No.
Sure. That I can do.
See, exactly.
Yeah, I don't
That's why it's perfect.
I don't know if people can tell, but I'm rocking my Megalo cosplay today with my criminal brand shirt. A lot of people told us that we should reach out to you and ask you to be on this episode specifically because of your thoughts on Fishman Island. And in preparation, we watched a couple of your videos to see kind of what those thoughts were. And we were very happy in that we mostly, I would say probably across the board agree with almost all of the points that you made.
Yay! I got some passionate disagreements with my take on Fishman Island.
And we're going to defend our logic behind why we agree with you and why we think that you're absolutely 100% right about this arc. What were some of the things? So you did get some passionate fans saying you're wrong. This is a trash arc.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was usually just I will not swear.
I mean, you can swear if you want.
Yeah. It was usually just what is this bad take? It's stuff like that, just very vague. This arc is objectively bad. What's wrong with you? Kind of not even really discussing very much. I mean, there was definitely some discussion, but a lot of it was just no, this is bad. Which, I mean, I get where people are coming from with not liking the arc. Our characters have been separated and then they come together and they're not really together very much.
Right.
We're excited to see their power up, and we don't see really them show off their new skill until the end of the arc, pretty much. I mean, that's not exclusively true, but for the most part. And, is it Hody or Hootie? Can you tell me? Because I still don't know.
I mean, we've been saying Hody.
Yeah,
and
we've been saying
Hody.
Let's go with Hody.
I feel pretty confident in Hody.
Let's go with Hody, and we'll let the internet correct us. So Hody is, and he's not the antagonist that you would expect after a break and after level ups. So, and it's long. It is long. So there's a lot that I understand why people dislike. And I just don't have any of those problems. Yeah,
same. I mean,
same.
Let's talk about Hody since we're on the topic of Hody. People have said in other videos and other reviews that we've seen, people have said that he is too one note. He's a boring villain or antagonist. That if you look at Fisher Tiger and Otohime, that they are the queen and obviously the leader of the Sun Pirates, right? That they are far superior when it comes to like having an interesting like display of opposite sides, but it's not, to me, it's not about whether Hody is like a good villain or not. It's about, like you said in your video, it's about the theme of this arc, and it's about what Hody represents within that theme, which is this like cycle, this cycle that it's a cautionary tale for people that if we don't break this cycle with our children or our children's children, then that hate will continue. And the fact that when Hody finally does deliver that line, that logic, when asked, like, what did humans ever do to you? The fact that he says nothing was chilling. It was chilling.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he was one of the most, I mean, for me personally, like, you always have these villains that have, you know, like a pretty large backstory or reasoning why they're doing something. The reason for him doing what he was doing because he was just brought up with this hatred or being told to hate these humans, never really, you know, really coming into contact with them that much, just hearing stories and building this narrative in his head about why they're bad. And overall, just like seeing him say that, and it just went to show like how dumb, you know, stereotypes and judging people by stories or judging like a race or a type of person or, you know, a culture. And when you know nothing about it, and it just shows the stupidity of like why you don't even have a reason.
Yeah, you kind of lost sight of, you know, your hatred. You are empty, as they you know they say about him. But I just think this is so powerful. I think this is so important. I think this is so, you know, pertinent. I think it's relevant to our time. Sadly, you know, like. You know, I just think that this is a story, and Mehgan, you know, props to Mehgan Merphy. I don't know if you know this, but Mehgan did some research into, you know, Oda likes to pull a lot from like, you know, history. And so she, you know, thought, I wonder if there's like with the blood transfusion and the Luffy and Jinbe moment, like I wonder if that's based on anything. And she found a story about a guy named Charles R. Drew. Do you know about this, Merphy?
I don't.
Okay, so this guy was an African-American scientist who led a lot of the, research when it came to like blood transfusions in, you know, actual real history, right? He got into some, you know, near fatal or fatal accident and was sent to a hospital to be given a blood transfusion and died. And the rumors spread that it was because like that it was a white hospital and they didn't want to give him their blood.
Yeah. So I mean that wasn't the truth.
But that was a rumor. That was
that spread like more hatred because obviously people during that time would say like, oh, that sounds exactly what something that would happen.
Yeah, it's such a nuanced discussion too. It's not just, you know, one side or one person, but it's showing how it affects people in so many different ways. And it also humanizes the Arlong pirates while still not dismissing what they've done, but showing like there is reason behind this hatred and they are a product of this cycle. And it's just it's such a fascinating discussion that I feel like he did not do halfway.
No, not at all. I mean, he did it so incredibly well. And like you said, it was a subject matter and a theme that is very nuanced, but tackled beautifully, especially in the anime. And we read mostly the manga, but we'll pop in for a scene or two. And the way that the blood transfusion scene happens in the anime with this tube, which the way that was written as well, like, you know, a tube not quite big enough to be called a road or whatever was the first step towards, you know, the real sun or whatever. I mean, it was beautiful. And in the anime, you see that the blood kind of going through the tubes, passing, you know, the Fishman children, passing even Nami. And she's kind of flashing back to all the things that she's had to deal with, that the fish people have had to deal with, like, and, you know, into like, you know, Luffy. And it was just very beautiful. I think Hody gets way too much shit. I don't know what people wanted going back. I mean, I guess it's a high bar after, you know, Marineford and everything.
Yeah, there's people that are saying that Vanderdeck was a better
That is absolutely
antagonist.
absurd, dude.
I went,
what? Was terrible.
I went, what are you reading? What are you reading?
I want to ask you that too, Murphy. Like, Vanderdecken is the one thing I'll say that was awful.
Vanderdecken, that's what it was.
And I saw in your video too that you.
I'm sorry. Vanderdecken was the one thing more so than Caribou.
Oh yeah. No, sorry, no. I take that back. Caribou.
It's Caribou Bottom, and then it's Vanderdecken, and then it's Hody.
To this day, Caribou is still my least favorite character in the series. Despise.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, I was furious. I was like, what is he even doing here?
What was the point of you? Why did we bring you along?
The only part that I liked was when he was just aboard the Thousand Sunny and everyone was kind of like showing off how strong they are and how terrified he was of them. That was the only part I was like,
well, the gag
like this.
When Frankie traps him while he's doing his monologue, that's like, that's some good humor.
If it was for that moment, then just throw him overboard after that. I don't need him to be creeping in the background the whole time. He served no overall purpose, and you think like maybe he hears some important information towards the end of the arc when with Kame with the Shirahoshi, the princess. He overhears that information, and you think like, oh, this is his purpose.
That's why he's there.
This is why he's here to spread this message. But I just believe that he's never going to be important ever again. That he was just there. Like, I don't, like, it does feel like Oda just put in, like, a lot of antagonists or a lot of, like, I don't know. I don't know that it maybe would have been better without Vanderdecken, but it would for sure have not changed or been any different without Caribou at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I personally do think that Caribou is going to end up being extremely important for the series. And I'm really mad about it.
Wow.
I really just don't want it to be true. But yeah, I have a lot of gaps in my memory about Fishman Island, but he is the one with the information about who Shirahoshi truly is. And like, that's got to come back around at some point.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I was like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
The one crack that they didn't. And the fact that they just like let him go, they were never really watching him. They kind of like were like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah, well, because he's so exactly. Because he poses no threat whatsoever to any of them. But speaking of Shirahoshi, I also was so surprised to find that a lot of people also really don't care for her. Later finding out that she becomes so important, paramount to the story.
More important than most.
Yeah, she becomes a very significant player in the future for sure. But, people complaining about her being this crybaby who's just, I guess just there. Comparing how Luffy treated her to how he treated Kobe, which I thought was very enjoyable to read. Seeing him call her Wimpy Hoshi and all these things.
Telling her, I literally hate you.
Yeah.
Like, you cried too much. I hate you. I was like,
yeah, that was wild. I found her, enjoyable for what she was supposed to be in this arc. But there's a lot of people who dislike her. What are some of your thoughts, Merphy? I don't think we saw that in the video.
Yeah, I'm not her biggest fan. I definitely don't hate her. I think that her disposition makes sense, like back to Vanderdecken. She was preyed on as a 6-year-old by this nasty old man and kept in solitude because of that. Like, just kill the man. I'm sure it's not that easy, but just kill the man. But she was kept in solitude. She's kept in isolation because of this threat of this pedophile. And she just... it makes sense to me that she would be unstable and that she wouldn't know how to interact with people and that she wouldn't have some very basic life skills. So her character makes sense to me, but I don't necessarily find her enjoyable. I don't dislike her, but she is a crybaby. So
she is.
There's only so much that you can enjoy a character like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I wonder too, with this medium, I wonder how many people are complaining because they watched the anime versus read the manga, because it's like less annoying if you're reading it.
Sure.
But we did see a clip of her, and her voice actor is wild. She made some crazy choices. She is like, her cries are a little hard on the ears, man.
Well, she's got to summon those freaking sea kings.
Yeah.
They got to be crazy. They got to be loud.
That revelation. And another thing, going back to what you said in your video, Merphy, is that, I don't know what people expected. Maybe a big action, maybe they wanted this big, huge hurdle for the Straw Hats to have to, overcome. But I agree completely that they needed to just be able to easily defeat whoever they came across next. But at the end, the reveal, like you said, talking to the Neptunians or whatever, that and the reveal of her being the ancient weapon, like that, to me, it built so much more of the lore. It built so much more of the history.
Well, because it's like when you think about these ancient weapons, I always thought they were like, ancient weapons, like a piece of machinery or like something hidden in like, a temple. Like, no, it's like people. Like, we're doing people now as ancient weapons. Like,
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was a wild twist.
Yeah.
And, I know that, you're probably pretty aware of maybe some other things that have happened after this. But for me, it gets me so excited for, meeting. I'm assuming then that obviously the other ancient weapons are also people.
I would assume. Yeah.
But I would assume. Just watching Merphy real quick. I would assume.
I won't give any away this time.
First of all, I don't think
First of all, you did not.
You did not.
You did not.
Okay. there were a couple things that I said and I was like, no, take it back.
No, I definitely don't think you gave anything away. And if you did, we weren't clever enough to pick up on it.
Yeah, we're like, oh, yeah.
We were like, yeah.
One of those things where when you have the context, it's like, you messed up there. But if you don't have the context, maybe you don't see it. Well, that's good because I felt bad.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm trying to think of, because we obviously did a video with Tekking a little bit after, and Tekking's poker face was so good that I felt at least you let us in a little bit there's something more to that, so that we didn't continue to speak and sound more foolish. But Tekking's poker face was crazy, dude.
Yeah. We were talking about, we're like, Dragon is, Ace's dad. And he goes, mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Ace, Dragon's dad. Yeah, go ahead.
That's hilarious.
He's like agreeing with us, and we're like, oh. And
I would look back, I was like, oh my God, dude, we look like such idiots. But we didn't know. We didn't know. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, that big reveal, the Neptunians that they speak, first of all.
Yeah.
Huge. And that Gold Roger was the other human
who could also hear them.
Yeah, who could also hear them.
And they alluded to Luffy also maybe possibly hearing them.
Yeah,
and I was
like, for sure.
It's not a coincidence. It can't.
And I'm trying to tiptoe around this too, Merphy. Obviously, the fortune teller, she foresaw this future, or had this vision of Luffy destroying Fishman Island. I was under the impression when we had only read the first part that was going to mean that he was going to destroy the Fishman Island the way it was, and then he was going to, bring about this new Fishman Island, and that's what the vision was all about. However, by the end of this, we see him making some steps towards actually possibly bringing some major destruction to Fishman Island via Big Mom and stuff.
Or even the Ark. I mean, if he destroyed the Ark or let the Ark fall, it was over for them.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so that was it was maybe she saw that.
Right, there was maybe another thing she saw where
because we don't know exactly what she saw.
He's just sitting there.
I don't have a poker face.
No, your poker face is good. I like it.
You can not have a good poker face, but you just can't say anything. You can just be like, but you can't be like, you're right.
Okay, that's not. Yeah. That's not fair. It's not fair to Merphy. So,
do you guys have any spoilers for what's been going on in recent chapters?
Go ahead, Mehgan. I mean, unfortunately.
Oh my God, Merphy.
Unfortunately.
I got a personal DM.
Oh, no. This was crazy.
And someone just decided to tell me something that has happened recently and just said, oh yeah, this is a spoiler, by the way. I'm spoiling you intentionally with a smiley face. And I was like,
wow.
Who are you? Put him in a freaking One Piece as an antagonist. That's pure evil.
That's evil.
That is pure hatred. I was like,
evil.
Why would you do this to me?
That's some Blackbeard shit right there, dude. That's just
chaos.
It
really is.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say. I haven't even told him, obviously. I don't want to, tell anyone.
And you can't when you're on YouTube, too. And,
man, that was crazy.
Whether you're just watching, other One Piece content or whether you're, trying to put together a thumbnail or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see images. So I've seen, images. Mm-hmm. But I've tried really hard to segment them or section them off in my brain.
That's good.
Yeah, close them off.
Yeah, black them out.
I'd like to make an observation.
Yes.
You guys had me on for two of the most commonly hated arcs, two of the most commonly hated villains, two of the most controversial Sanji arcs. I'm just saying.
Well, we haven't even got to.
Y'all don't like me.
No, Murphy.
You're like, taste, oh, good. Dude. No. Hey, Murphy likes this bad arc. Let's have her on and make her talk about it.
Like Josh
the rest
said,
of the internet hates it.
Exactly, and we enjoy it. We loved Thriller Bark. We loved Fishman. I mean, of course we had to have you on because you have similar taste as us. Because who are we gonna have? Someone that just shits on it the whole time? We're like, no,
fight to the death.
I mean, that'd be pretty funny,
that'd be
too.
Funny, that'd be kind of good.
But I would put this up there, in terms of, what we've read so far.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing to hear someone actually agree. And I feel like, obviously you've read many stories. You have a good sense of, I think, what what good storytelling is. I mean, everybody has their different tastes and
That's
opinions.
right.
And,
I'm right.
you know.
Everyone else is wrong.
But you heard it here first.
I hold
Merphy
the correct
Napier,
opinion.
yes, Merphy Napier only spits facts.
It's true. It's true.
Can I ask you guys some questions?
Go ahead. Yes.
What do you think of Kuma? You were Kuma.
Oh yeah, I was Kuma.
Dude, that's before we even knew.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I let slip. I said too much about him in the last video, and I was like, no,
I think you
just
said
take it back.
Like a theory that you had, which was kind of similar to what we were thinking about how he did it on purpose. And we were like, yeah, that would make sense because they kind of ended up in all the right places. And it turned out.
And you said something about vacation spots, like sending them to their, like you thought that Kuma was going to send them to their like ideal vacation spot or something like that.
Yeah.
And that didn't like make me question anything or think anything.
No, because we kind of were like, that makes sense because they all went to the places that we want to go.
Well, but then we find out. Then
we find out it was true. That was a crazy reveal. And Vegapunk, we still don't know a lot about Vegapunk.
I stand my current Kuma theory, dude, is that there is some sort of like fail safe, or there's some sort of like, word that will awaken him, and it'll make, because Kuma was like a leader of the revolution. A very, prominent figure within its ranks.
Yes.
And I do feel that, he did give himself either, he did it to protect somebody or something, but he also, maybe there's some sort of fail safe or something that maybe he gave Dragon like this word, right? And then they're in battle, and then he gives Dragon this word, and all the pacifistas turn on the government, dude, and start ripping them apart. That's what I think. Murphy?
Yeah, he says, instead of like, he says pause. Like
he says pause.
but it's like pause, like stop.
Yeah.
And they all stop and they go.
Yeah. No, that's for sure it, and that's canon.
That's canon.
Oh, it's canon.
You're killing it.
While we have you here too, I want to really ask you. We haven't got to the Sanji stuff yet, and I know. We don't have to linger here too long. We don't have to be here too long. We don't have to set up camp here. Okay, we could just kind of stroll through. Because we spoke on it in our last video.
And of course, everyone's like,
not everyone. There was
a lot of comments.
There was a lot of people who understood, I feel like.
Yeah, it was 50-50, I feel like.
Maybe 50-50, but
maybe 50.
What?
50.
Okay.
Anyway,
I think that what I said, where I landed in the last part was that it's not that in this portion necessarily of Fishman Island, I'm not necessarily offended. I just don't find it super funny, or it's not like my favorite personality trait, or it doesn't seem like out of all the other Straw Hats that seem to have so much more depth and seem to have so many more layers. And yes, Mehgan brought up a fantastic point about Brook. Brook makes a similar perverted joke, but it seems like it's very,
He has other jokes.
He has the bone jokes.
Yeah, the bone jokes can't get enough. But he's also the interactions are funny. I mean, we see Sanji mainly fight with Zoro, and then fawn over women. And That's pretty
and
much
Brook
what we
had
see.
like layers. Like maybe this will jog your memory, Murphy, but this was a highlight for me in Fishman. Like finding out that Brook had this like new ability to use his soul.
Yeah, to have his soul leave his body when they were in that cage. Oh,
yeah,
it's so good.
I mean, Sanji didn't have a moment like that. He just bled everywhere. And that was such a, he had so many cool lines when he was fighting, his new Fishman pirate. He said to him, keep talking about death. You keep talking about death, but like, have you ever died? Like, there's nothing after but bones. There's no honor, only like what the living choose to carry or whatever.
Brooke.
I was like, Brooke, this is like,
here's the thing.
Scar him.
Brooke only gets better.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's how you like, if you really want to have a pervy joke, yeah, I mean, Brooke's the way to do it, right?
What?
And I'm not like, again, I'm not sitting here and I'm not just like, really upset or really offended. I just don't, at this point with Sanji, I don't find it super, super entertaining. But now that we've kind of gotten further into the story to this point, feeling how you felt in Thriller Bark, getting here, like with him becoming more of that, like what were kind of your feelings on it, I guess?
So actually, I've been thinking about this a lot because in the last time y'all had me on, you mentioned that some people say that Sanji just gets worse, and you were like, "Do you agree?" And I said, "No, definitely not." So I have been remembering that there are still some pretty bad Sanji times to come, and I felt so bad because I was just like, no, of course not. But then one of my mods is reading through One Piece for the first time, and she's like live reacting, and she just got through a really bad large section, and I was like, I told them it gets better. And so anyway,
God.
it doesn't matter. The point is that the thing with Fishman Island is that Sanji he's not crossing boundaries. He's not like doing stuff like what that one scene was in Thriller Bark. It's just like, it's just not really that funny. And I don't really care if we do this once, twice, even 3 times in this big long arc, but it's like again and again and again. And like you said, there's really not anything else we're getting out of Sanji in this arc. So even if this was a long-lasting gag, I'd just be like, okay, sure, why not? Okay, like that would be my reaction. But it would be nice to get more, you know? But the fact that this is all we get, it's just like, you're making it hard for me to like him. And that's the thing, is I was a massive Sanji fan. And then it just felt like Oda was just like, not really letting his character shine for a large period of time and then just using him as the gag. And it's like, his character is so much more than that. And he, you know, without spoilers, he gets a lot more nuance and he gets a lot better as well as a lot worse. There's like 2 sides of Sanji, and I don't think that'll ever change. I think there will always be 2 sides of Sanji. But you're just not getting much from him in this arc.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even know what lies ahead. But even after hearing that, and I had a feeling, you know, we hadn't seen the end of him going down this road. That he was only going to go farther down it. But I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel once I get there.
I just feel. I mean, it's very disappointing. We were just like reminiscing about, you know, his entrance as a character, classy. You know, he'd make jokes here and then, but he was just like more badass and. It's just feeling more so we're getting one note from him. Yes. Which is kind of just like, aw.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Because he's an awesome character. He's the coolest character unless he's being the worst, and then he's the worst character. But then, too, it's like with this, it's like he's kind of neither. He just is there for a gag. But it's like you don't really get any duality from him at all.
Yeah. And even Chopper got more like shine and character development.
I was so happy about that.
In this arc. I
was so happy
Chopper
about
was
that.
like, you know, steering one of the tanks and everything, or one of Frankie's new vehicles. I mean, it was awesome, dude.
He's able to change forms freely now. He can go berserk mode for like 30 seconds, right? Or 3 minutes? 3 minutes?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
So sick.
And I'm like, dude, I mean, Chopper was someone who I always felt like was falling, to the wayside. He was, he was never feeling like he was at the forefront or getting enough shine, especially being the Doctor, which I did see someone else make a pretty good point that, they're always talking about, there was a huge emphasis on blood transfusions, and it's like, Oda, of course, in the medium of like shonen manga, he's going to pick and choose when someone needs a blood transfusion. They were like pointing to like fights where Zoro like looked like he like yeah. And they're like, he didn't need a blood he just needed to sleep for a couple days. But I mean, Chopper was actually like a really enjoyable part of this too. Like almost all of them coming back. We kind of commented on it, but it'd be interesting to hear kind of your thoughts on the designs. I know Mehgan was a little disappointed in Nami's design just because like it doesn't seem very practical at all. Her outfit specifically.
Long hair, or just that she likes to wear a bikini top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, the long hair I love. I mean, I do love pre-time skip all of them. I think they look sick. But Nami, I was like. I mean,
I think you were saying it was just the practicality of it too, like that she seemed to kind of have, like even if she wasn't a different outfit, it was kind of the same thing. It was kind of like always a bikini top.
Yeah.
I know Frankie. A lot of people feel kind of are on the fence about Frankie. I love Frankie's character design.
He's wild.
I think he's like
crazy.
He's like the coolest character I've ever seen.
How
did you feel, or who was like jarring? What was there anybody you were like really not into when they came back? At least their design.
I didn't have any negative feelings about Nami because like Oda doesn't really do reasonable character designs in general. So so like her choosing to wear a bikini top, it's like, yeah, of course, that's sounds right for what we've done in the past. So I don't really care about that so much, but Frankie was awesome. Every time the guys were like doing the eyes, I was like, me too.
Me too.
And let's see, I think Zoro looks amazing. I think I was a little bit disappointed by Sanji because it was just, not to keep punching, I really do like his character.
Sure.
But just because it was like, we flip his hair to the other side and like, done.
He grew a little more facial hair.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but everybody else got a little bit more. I guess not necessarily, because Nami didn't get a little bit more. Some of them were a lot more subtle, but I don't know.
Well, I think it was in comparison to like Robin, who like Robin, yeah, she's got, she's showing some cleavage, but she at least like has like, she looks like she fits the part of an archaeologist, and maybe Nami looks like she fits the part of a navigator too, but I don't know how she's dealing with it on those winter islands. I don't know how
right.
I don't know how she's getting through it.
I mean, Usopp
was the best.
Usopp
was
glowed
the
up.
best. Usopp was the best, dude. And a highlight, Merphy, I don't know if you remember this part too, a fantastic moment when Usopp like has this line where he says something to the effect of, this is usually the point in the fight where I would just say something crazy.
Where I would lie when I would make a big whopper.
Yeah, I would lie about, giving him a big whopper, but like I can just actually do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
We've always loved Usopp. We've always been Usopp stans.
Yeah, I stand Usopp and Frankie. Frankie, they would be nowhere without Frankie, dude. I think even another character in this arc commented on Frankie and said, like, I thought he was a shipwright, dude. This guy's like a magician. I mean, he could just like, he's got like memory forming metals now. I mean, I don't know. And I loved the Frankie robot. What is it called? Not the Iron Pirate. Is it called the
Iron Pirate? Yeah.
That was amazing. That was like amazing. And there's figures of that too. So, expect in the future one of those up on the shelf.
Of course.
Going off of what you said about Usopp, though, I feel like Chopper had just as satisfying of a time like that. Like when he turned into Monster Chopper and everybody was like, oh no. And he just winks at him and he's like, I can control it now. It's okay. Yeah! It's like, that made me so happy.
Yes.
It really did. And he does the cute little like swiggle thing where he's like, don't make fun of me. And they're like, that's kind of gross when you're in this form. It's not as cute. Yeah. Not as cute. But yeah, I'm so happy to see how much he's grown. Even since Thriller Bark, it's just so great. Because again, we talked about it. That was a huge part of who he became, not just from the time skip, but just like going through all of that conflict and seeing like your heroes aren't what they're cracked up to be sometimes.
Yeah, and I think Luffy's big moment too here was finally hearing him say for the first time, he's like, yeah, I have zero interest in being a hero. Like, I don't want to be a hero. I'm not in it for the glory. I'm not in it for the fame. I just, this is what I like to do. And this is what is fun to me. And this is like, this is what I'm going to do no matter what. Like, I don't need everything else that comes with it. And hearing him say that and sort of like solidified his character, it was like finally like, boom, this is now I get the full entire picture of Luffy. Maybe not, but I mean, his moment, and even Zoro had a similar moment where he said like, I don't want, heroes share grog and I want all the grog for myself.
They're using the same examples. So they're like, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And they even say like, we're not heroes, we're pirates. And I just really like that in a protagonist. Luffy coming back from the time skip and just like taking out 50,000 men with one glance. I feel like in other series that we've read and other stories that would seem so overpowered or so corny or so cheesy, but he does really feel like he's earned it. And it does feel like it's this huge moment of reward. Like, I don't know. I didn't feel like, it was this like typical shonen type of, formula where this character just gets this huge power up and can do everything now and it's unstoppable now. It's like, no, this guy had to go through a lot to hone this, to get this. And there were stakes and there were arcs and there was growth.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really like appreciated this arc for everything that it did. And you spoke a lot on the themes. And I do want to get back to that too, because like, this is such, I think, an important story. I think even in your video, you said that this might have been one of the best handlings of a theme, either a theme or this specific type of theme that you had come across in any medium, like not just manga, in fantasy. Do you still feel like that? Do you still, does that still ring true?
I do. Absolutely. I read a lot of fantasy. My other favorite genre is literary fiction, and obviously that's very themes dense, but, Frederick Bachman is one of my favorite authors, but I think that even with genres that are more inclined to study themes, I don't think that I've seen this much nuance and care and intentionality wrapped up in a really fun story. Like, I've never seen it like this. I've never seen it performed this way. And I think that it's one of, if not the best explorations of themes, and of this theme in particular, that I've read.
Yeah, it's handled extremely well, and it's so easy to get something like this wrong, or to do it in a way that doesn't feel like it's giving it the seriousness that it deserves.
Yeah.
But again, I can't tell you how moved I was, and how, again, sadly or unfortunately, whatever, it feels so prevalent to like our times today. Like, not to get too whatever about it all, but like, I just feel like where we live in America, for sure, like, with politics and everything, like, it's gotten to a point now where I feel like a lot of these things, like, similar to, this is kind of how I felt like, similar to how, King Neptune is saying that, they ignored Fishman Island, or they ignored the outcasts that were down there, and the hatred was just sort of growing, and everything was just getting worse. But they pretended like they were making changes, or that they were, achieving progress in any sort of way. Like, I really felt like, politically now, I feel like a lot of these prejudices, or people are, I feel like, a lot more comfortable. Like, a lot of things are like rising to the surface, and they are things and problems that, like, maybe we ignored as a society, as a culture, that we didn't give any, or we're like, yeah, no, like, people are like past that, or that was so long ago, or this and this and that. But then, like, I just feel like recently it's all started to come a little bit more to the surface, and reveal its, like, rear its kind of ugly head, which is why I feel like all of this, like, it was scary. It was scary. Like, just like, how you again, we've said it a million times, but you think you're just going to get a stretchy pirate going on these fun adventures, but he's, Oda is able to use this as a way to tell these really important stories, and really, really, really create really beautiful messages. And I hope kids are reading this shit. And I hope kids are like, because I'm a 32-year-old grown-ass man in a shark outfit talking about it. But, I hope, because, like, that's what it's all about, breaking the cycle. It's all about change. It's all about, like, and like you said, like, oh man, like, even Odahime and Fisher Tiger, and that nuance of him saying that he was advocating and fighting for the freedoms of all these people, but still struggled internally with all of these things, like all of this hatred for everything that was done to him, but still didn't want to pass it down.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, that's so, like.
Yeah, I mean, he died because he couldn't get past that, like, I will not take that blood transfusion. Like, he could not get past that hate that he has. And yet in his dying breath, he's like, don't do this. Don't let it keep going. And it's like, it's a really powerful message, I think, to not have things so black and white, to have someone who is a hero, who is someone that we look up to and who we love and who's done incredible things, still struggle with that to the point that they would die before they would take that transfusion. But still, even though they can't get past it, they want people to be able to get past it. Like, that's so layered. And it's just so easy to write stories like this in a very black and white. These are the good guys, these are the bad guys. And instead, it's like the bad guys get nuance, the good guys get nuance, and he views it from so many different angles and how it affects so many different people that it's just like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people expected maybe Hody to have all this nuance, but it's like, it's more so to help get the theme across. And that is a terrifying thing. When he says nothing, it's like, Blackbeard is terrifying because he is chaos. Like, he represents just lawlessness and just like doing whatever you want, whenever you want to do it, however you want to do it. And that's, that's a very kind of like, I don't know, maybe Joker-esque kind of thing. But I mean, that is scary, right? But Hody is equally as scary, I think, to have this hatred that makes him so passionate and willing to, like, kill not only people who he hates, but his own people who have decided that they want to be friendly with these other people. Like, he will kill his own kind, like, for no reason other than just like being, like I said, a product, or like it was said in this arc, like a product of his environment. And he's sitting down, and Arlong is just telling him that. And Brooke's line about, like, and everybody's lines about death, and like that the dead don't carry anything, it's like the people who are left that carry all these things and choose to like, I don't know, carry it. Like, I mean, this art got me like jacked up, dude. This art got me wanting to like run for office or something, dude. I don't know. Wanting me to like make a change. I don't know. I mean, I'm fired up. I mean, it was really, really impactful, and it just bothers me so much that people, when I hear, and that's why I wanted to look at. It's why we wanted to talk to you, and that's why we looked up some reviews from people who had some opposing views on this arc, is because like it frustrates me. Again, I guess people just wanted a awesome fight or a badass villain that was going to like give them more of a run for their money. But I thought this arc was everything that it needed to be and so much more. And yeah, I just wanted to celebrate it, Merphy. That's why we had you on, dude. Not because we wanted you to talk more shit about Sanji or anything like that.
Actually, speaking to all that and building on what we think about. Do you say Hody or Hootie? I've forgotten already.
Hody. I say Hody, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
We're going to go with your way. Because I don't know. So speaking more about him, I think that the way that he is a threat to his people is also really, really intentional, like making them step on the face of their queen, the picture, and then, saying, you have to do this or else I'll murder your king. And so they do it because they don't have a choice. And then after they do it, after he forces them to go against the leader that they love and that they're loyal to and go against what they believe in, then he pulls out the papers and he says, anybody that signed this when I wasn't, trying to take over, when I wasn't around, when you didn't know about me, anybody that signed this, you and your families will die. And there is nothing you can do about it. And I just feel like, the way that he was a threat and the way that he performed evil was so much less in your face, but it was so much more, it was so in line with what was being discussed here, that kind of, that integration into like your day-to-day and how subtly he came in and then worked from that power structure and from that like being the oppressor instead of just being like, I'm going to kill you because you bother me. You know what I mean? It's a less in your face, but it's so in line with what Oda was doing here.
Yeah, and I mean, generally, it was very cool to see him take those types of like, the ancient or the treasure, the like steroids.
Oh yeah,
because he was not like a very strong guy, and he used this to get stronger, and it's literally just like, if he didn't take this, someone could have been able to take him out, no problem.
I will say personally, that wasn't my favorite like thing about like I did kind of hate that there was this like, not hate, but I didn't necessarily really enjoy when this like super soldier drug was introduced.
The only reason I liked it so much, I think, was just because it showed, like, how weak he really was, like, on the outside and also internally, because he was so weak he can't get past, he can't forgive, and that just shows, like, complete weakness.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have been able to do any of that stuff without those, but I felt like it was, out of all the things that were nuanced, like that was something that was just, I don't know. I just feel like it didn't need to be there. Other than I do get the reasoning that you see in it, and I do think that there's validity in that for sure. But it just like to me. But
if it wasn't there, it wouldn't have really.
Yeah, I was like,
mattered.
Right, super soldier drugs now. I mean, I don't
he did look really scary though.
He did look scary.
Towards the end, he was a great white shark.
I want to ask you now that you've obviously you're caught up, Merphy. You said at the, I don't know if it was at the beginning or the end of that video that you did, you said it's up there. Like, I don't know if you said top 5, but you said at the time it was up there. Is it still up there? Where do you think now that you've caught up, like you don't have to say like what is above it or below it, but is there, have you thought about where it lands in the grand scheme of everything that you've read?
Yeah, it's still in my top. I still think it's a masterpiece. It's still top 7, 8 up there.
I think, I mean, we recently kind of ranked all the arcs too, and found that it just, what we tended to rank low was the beginning. Like it just hits a point, like, Little Garden, I was like, what is it? D tier. I
love Little Garden.
I mean, I guess, but
did we put it at D?
I think so.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you have to tell me you did that?
I mean, we didn't.
But
do
the
that. I was
lowest-
saying hypothetically.
There's dinosaurs.
That's true.
That's true.
We ranked it higher on our island tier
islands that
list
we
because we
wanna
were like,
visit,
we want to go because that's really cool. But yeah, the lower tiers were the beginning, and then just One Piece just gets better and better and better and better and better.
So you put Romance Dawn low? I need to see this video now so I can be an angry commenter.
Yeah, leave an angry comment. I can't remember where we put Romance Dawn, but I think it was definitely higher. I can't remember, but it's just when you get to Water 7 and Enies Lobby and Marine Ford and Impel Down and all these other arcs, Thriller Bark even we put pretty high. I mean, it just seems like it's getting better and better. And with Fishman Island too, like sure, of course, like it didn't have all the time to set up this like hugely elaborate story, the same time that like all the lead up to Marine Ford allowed to have, but I think it was still really, really well done, really great. And you said this in the first video, Mehgan, too, that it felt like Skypiea, and I
very reminiscent.
Feel that even more now that we're at the end of it, that like there's such a similarity in Skypiea and Water 7 and Fishman Island, just because of this like the complexities of this society and this world that we're learning about that's totally separate from everybody else. I'm trying to make sure that we covered everything, that we asked Merphy all the hard hitting questions. Are there any other highlights to you, Merphy? While I maybe think of one more hard hitting question to ask you.
I think Oda did a really good job of showing, even though he didn't really show off how much they've grown and how much they've changed until the end of the arc. I think he did a good job of subtly showing that. Like when Zoro was captured and then he just stayed captured until there was a fight. And then he was like, I broke out because I wanted to have some fun. And then he not only joined the fight, or he not only broke out of prison with no effort and then joined the fight, but then he overcompensated and like tied up too many people.
Like split the tower in half completely.
And Zoro's introduction to Fishman Island, he's splitting this giant thing in half, just like Mihawk's introduction was. And it's like, I don't know. I just think he did a really good job of showing in very subtle ways their huge power gap that we've had over time, and then it's there. I'm just not going to give you the fight until we've taken some time to discuss what I want to discuss.
Totally.
Because we meet some big players.
I mean, we haven't even talked about Jinbe.
Oh yeah,
the goat.
Yeah, the goat for real.
I mean, we got confirmation now. We're just waiting for him to come back to the Straw Hats, but he's going to be a Straw Hat.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that was a little spoiled for me, but I didn't
By
know
me?
it.
That was another thing I said.
No, you didn't say that. Did you say that?
Well, I said that my favorite Straw Hat is a spoiler, so I mean.
No, come on. Which I think that there is, I mean, I don't know. I think that there is, after Jinbe, I think, isn't there one more? You don't have to answer, but I thought.
I don't know.
Anyway,
maybe it hasn't happened yet, but people are like thinking it's going to be a specific person.
I don't know. I'm not going to theorize too much, but
Jinbe's sick.
Jinbe is awesome. I mean, he is a man of like, responsibility, like
integrity.
King Neptune says, integrity. Like he doesn't care about being a captain or a leader. I mean, he was a warlord of the sea. He doesn't care about all that. The only reason he did any of that stuff, the only reason he's working for Big Mom in any capacity is because it's all to protect his people.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, he's the old wise man of the group.
Well, and he stopped Luffy from making Hody a martyr. And he was like,
yes.
He's like, I'm not telling you not to fight him. I'm just saying, think about the timing and the way so that we don't make the problem bigger. And he did that for him in Impel Down. I don't know. I love him so much.
Yeah, he's really the voice of reason. Luffy, like, that is one person he'll listen to.
Yeah, for real. Like, it's so funny you say that. Like, it does feel like... What?
Oh, it's as part of my theory later.
Oh, okay.
About Fishman and Luffy.
Oh, because he's got Fishman blood in him now?
Well, before that, because he could hear the Neptune. I don't know. Maybe he has a connect... I don't know, but
I'm
have...
ready.
I mean, maybe he's
Luffy
just
is
that...
a Fishman confirmed.
Yes!
Confirmed. Luffy is our long son.
Luffy is Fishman.
Yeah. But no, you're right. Absolutely right. Like, I think that was such an interesting part of the fight, too, because Luffy didn't get to just go into battle.
Yeah.
Jinbe had to hold him back. And it was even that battle, like, had to be done a very particular way, a specific way, because it needed to look like, or people needed to know, the citizens needed to know, they needed to decide for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like that friend or foe part, right? And Luffy says, like, decide for yourself, like, you make the choice. Like, but that Jinbe was so strategic about it. Like we have to come in and we have to kind of like make them want you to help, right? Like, and then by the end they're chanting his name. What a cool way for Luffy to not just charge into battle, and for the Straw Hats just charge into battle to add that layer of it to that fight as well. This is a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece arc. You know,
not to mention how beautiful every single panel is.
Yeah.
Like the pages were, there were spreads like during the feast and everything.
Oh.
And the Mermaid Cafe too. It was beautiful.
Even just the journey to get to Fishman Island was gorgeous and exciting. It's like, it's fine. It's fine if you're not a themes reader and you're a fights reader and this did not deliver on fights. That's fine. It's okay to feel that way, but it's so pretty. and there's so many great character moments and it does so many good things.
It really does. And I do think that, the fights maybe aren't long, but they're so cool. You have like Usopp learning from his fight in Alabasta.
Yeah.
Saying that experience, will always win. And he's, doing his smoke bombs underneath the tunnels, in the underground tunnels. And you have Chopper. There are moments. There are like awesome. Everybody has an awesome moment in a fight. They're not like super long drawn out fights, but there's some epic moments. There's some iconic like poster moments, wallpaper moments.
To be fair, most people read shonen manga for fights, or at least that's a big component. So I really don't fault anyone for not liking this arc. Like, it's cool. I get it. People read things for different reasons, and not everybody is coming to One Piece so that they can philosophize. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, it's for sure. Yeah.
But I do. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. I guess that leads me into another good question. Well, it seems like I'm hyping myself up. Like, it leads me into a question that I thought of that's good. It is like, with these themes, like you said that it was like one of the best handlings of themes, right? That you had read. Are there other themes that you would like hold? Because, you might have arcs on different spots in your list because of there might be other reasons, but are there like really big thematic, nuanced, like awesome topics that are tackled in future arcs like this, in this way?
In future arcs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's all I need. That's all I need.
That's all I needed.
It's not the same themes being tackled, but I think that when Oda has something he wants to talk about, he talks about it in nuanced and complex ways. And he's one of the best themes writers I've read. He's very good.
I'm so jazzed, dude. I'm so jazzed. Anything, Mehgan, do we have anything left for Murphy? Any other questions?
What's your next arc?
After this, it's
Dressrosa.
No, it's
Punk Hazard.
Punk Hazard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Dressrosa after that.
Yeah,
okay.
and we're hyped for.
I know Law's in it.
Yeah.
And
Law's amazing. I have a Law sweatshirt. Law deserves all the love.
I have a Law sweatshirt, a Law hat, and I'm gonna get his time skip hat and his time skip robe. I'm gonna get it all. I have a Law figure now.
That's another thing I said in the last thing. I mentioned the time skip. I'm so bad at this.
But everybody knows about the time skip.
We already knew. We're really bad at spoilers too. In general, we're like, yeah, we know that character. They're like, how do you know? And we're like, we look at figures.
Live on the internet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Like someone told us, and they were like, in their defense, they were really trying to just preserve, I guess, our innocence.
Yeah, for sure.
But they were like, they're like, you guys can't even, like, you guys probably shouldn't even go to like those figure shops that you go to. Like, you should probably just like maybe buy stuff online, or you probably shouldn't go and into these places where you could potentially get spoiled by all these figures. Because I mentioned in our Thriller Bark episode that I got drive-by spoiled. By Ace's death, now I can say it. Ace's death was spoiled for me.
Oh no!
Because I was in a figure shop and people were looking at One Piece figures and they were like, "Oh, that Ace figure's so cool." And too bad he died though.
Oh no!
And I was like, "Oh."
Mehgan, did you get that spoiler too?
I got it a little later.
Did you get it a little later? Him? Did you do it?
No. I remember seeing. I don't know what it was. I didn't see how it happened, but I think I just saw like Luffy holding Ace, and he didn't look too good. And I was like, maybe this is one of the deaths that'll be concrete, but we still don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't even want to put you in a position where you could possibly even give anything away. But I also saw something else that I was like, maybe he's not.
But
well,
it's One Piece, so
that's what I'm saying. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
To know who's gone and who's Who's still kicking?
Who's still
yeah,
kicking.
I was really extreme. I didn't even read my comments. So
Oh, really?
so I didn't get spoiled for the time skip until right before I got there. And it wasn't even on the internet. It was a friend. I was talking on the phone with him and he was like, I don't know where you are, but you're almost to the time skip, right?
And you're like, what?
And I spiraled because I was like, oh no, if there's a time skip, that means there's something big that's going to happen, which means that we're not going to save Ace and everything's going to go wrong. And it was like this big thing.
Yeah.
And I told my husband and he was like, you don't know about that? It's in like every comment on your video. And I was like, well, that's why I don't read them.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because even sometimes, and I think we might have, I don't know if we've said it before or not, like on camera. Maybe we have, but like it's what's worse is the people who think they're being clever, but they're giving it away. You know, they're like, look, I won't spoil anything, but let's just say
That's me.
You know, no, that is not you.
No, they'll say exactly what you said verbatim, like. You mentioned something, with like eyes emoji.
Oh,
You're
right.
like, okay, you're just confirming
Right.
our like theory about it.
I want to know if we're, and again, I hate to keep putting you in this position where it's like, we're setting you up to
I hate
spoil
to do
something.
it, but I will.
But I'll do it right now
but
again.
I'm literally about to do it. I want to know if I thought I was so confused and I had to go back and one thing that I did check the comments for was to see like, I don't know why it was so foggy in my mind. I mean, One Piece is long. Where we left off with Arlong, like what was his situation? Was he taken to Impel Down? Where was he taken? Who was he captured by? People did let us know in the comments. I was really thinking we were going to get to see him, and I kind of hope that we get to see him again at some point. Now that we have so much more backstory about him, because I said in the last video that we did our part 1 video that it doesn't make anything he did, right, but it does allow me as a reader to empathize so much more with him. And understand him on a deeper level and his logic, and I love that when you could do that for an antagonist, and make me really someone as sinister as Arlong, and make me really feel for the guy. Not to say like, well, now it makes sense and I agree with everything he did, but I understand it. I just and that's another thing that I was in love with about this arc. I just think that for everybody who's watching and listening, if you don't like Fishman Island, maybe you need to read it again. Maybe you need because read
it all again.
Read it again. It is so good. Merphy, is there anything else? I mean, I don't want to take too much of your time. Is there anything else you want to say to the people to let them know? Anything that you maybe feel like you didn't get to say? She's dying.
I'm choking to death as you're talking.
She's dying. Murphy's gone. I had a really bad cough, and
Oh yeah.
And I was dying for like 3 episodes, and then the way we release them, people are gonna think I'm dying for like a month. But is there anything else you want to say? Any final thoughts? Any closing thoughts? Anything you didn't get to say in the videos that you did, or anything that since you've gained perspective that you'd say about it now?
I really do like Sanji. I don't mean to hate on him.
That's it. Bye.
All right. I mean,
he's easy to complain about, but he's also great.
You know what it is? Yeah, it is like he's in a cast of other great characters, and he has redeeming qualities and he has really awesome things about him, but it's just he's surrounded by so many other cool characters that he's like the least cool character, if that makes sense.
Depending on which scene you're in.
That's very true. Depending on what mood Oda's in, or
right.
Exactly.
How he wants to write him. Well, thank you, Merphy. This was so much fun. I had a lot of fun.
We're so happy we could get you back because we knew you were like an advocate, Fishman Island lover, badge of honor. Like we had to talk to you about this,
and we had to band together, dude. We have to spread the love of Fishman Island. We have to let people know how amazing and beautiful this arc truly is.
Oh, I'm glad you guys loved it too.
Yeah, and I think our tastes align. Thriller Bark, now this, our tastes align. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward. I mean, maybe there'll be a point where we go down 2 separate roads.
Do let me know what you think of the next arc. I'll be very curious of your thoughts.
We'll let you know. We'll fill you in. I'm excited. I know there's going to be long.
I'm nervous. Big Mom's scary. I don't like her.
Oh, Big Mom, yeah.
Big Mom's terrifying. She looks like Yo Baba.
She looks like Yubaba.
Yubaba.
She looks like Yo Mama. She looks like Yo Mama. Anyway, Merphy, thank you so much. We've taken enough of your time. We appreciate it. Everybody else watching and listening, give one more round of applause for Merphy. If you're at home, if you're at work, if you're just driving,
clap. Everyone clap.
Everyone clap for Merphy.
Right now. I'm watching you.
And stay tuned for the second half of the episode where we go more in depth on the part 2 events, a little more beat by beat. But that's going to do it for this portion. So thank you again so much, Merphy.
Thank you for having me.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of our Fishman Island part 2 arc discussion. The first part was more of a recap, more of our favorite highlighted moments. But in this portion, we're going to be going through more beat by beat. I can't wear this the whole time. Where we left off was when we found out, obviously, that the queen was assassinated.
Yes.
But we discover who assassinated the queen. And I don't want to say that I was right, but I was right.
Mm-hmm.
It was a human, but it was later revealed that it was freaking Hody behind it the whole time.
Yeah, that was a little predictable. Like, I thought it was Vander Decken. I thought it was him, but yeah, it would make sense why Hody would do that to, instill the hatred once more.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to try our best too. We don't want to take up, too much of your time, but you guys, when you're watching or listening to this, you guys are doing stuff. You guys got stuff going on. So
no, they're watching intently.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of go through the events as quickly as possible, and then we'll linger on moments that we really want to talk about or felt like we didn't get the chance to really, say everything we wanted to say about during the Merphy portion of the episode. So yeah, you say you thought that was predictable, that it ended up being Hody and not Vander Decken. I mean, I guess so, but there are a lot of things that I thought were going to be very predictable that turned out not to be. And I just also want to say that I think that you ended up being a lot more right about the destruction of Fishman Island part than I was. I thought it was going to be resolved by the end. However, it doesn't seem like it was.
Well, I mean, we get that comment from Madam Shirley, I think her name is. Charlie. And she pretty much says, like, yeah, my visions, it could be tomorrow, it could be a year from now. There's this prophecy about a chosen one who comes to Fishman Island, is said to unlock the princess's, skill, her power, which has already happened by the end of this. We do get information about the arc, and there is a specific time and date of which that is to occur. So I do believe what we theorize, like I do believe the chosen one is Luffy. It's just not at this point in time that he is able to do what he's able to do.
He already helped in the awakening of the powers.
Yeah, in the awakening of the powers, which
maybe just by being there.
Which, I mean, is very exciting because he does have a relationship now with Shirahoshi and a friendship. And if he friends up all of these freaking
that's what he does, and that's what I think is going to happen.
All of these
he's going to be freaking, going shopping with Uranus next.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to friend up all of these freaking weapons of mass destruction. And no one's going to be able to touch him. Not the government.
He's going to have
not freaking
Blackbeard. Not Blackbeard. He's going to have, not even his daddy dragon. He's going to have
not even his daddy dragon.
He's going to have the Kraken. He's going to have Uranus. He's going to have Poseidon. And I think the other one was
Pluto.
He's gonna have Pluto. They're all gonna be freaking all you can eat cream barbecue, eating meat.
That's cute. Yeah. Oh my god, they go out of business if Luffy came to Korean barbecue. Forget about it.
If Luffy ever went to a Korean barbecue, they're done.
They're changing the grill. Every 5 minutes.
They're gonna have to call. They're gonna have to call for backup.
Yeah.
Not enough meat anywhere to satiate that man's appetite.
No way.
What we also see, after, is that Neptune, when he hears the news, right, that his wife Otohime was assassinated. I love this, this reaction, this very layered, complex emotional reaction that he has to these events. He doesn't know how to feel or what to do, or is so frustrated with what he knows he has to do, which is
he's super conflicted.
It's him crying, literally crying. saying that he doesn't understand why he can't just kill the person who killed his wife or harm or take out the person that killed his wife. But he knows that he has to because of what she stood for. And this whole
yeah, I would go against everything she believed in, and he felt like I would feel like a hypocrite if I was just gonna do this now.
Because he's also said, he's like, I've been in wars, like I've been, I've hurt humans, like she never did. That's what made her so the perfect person to be the mascot of this movement, is because she hadn't done this, she hadn't done the horrible things that King Neptune, have done.
Yeah, we kind of joked about that. We're like, King Neptune just sitting on his ass, not doing shit. Like, she has her thing, but it's like, no, it makes sense why he wouldn't want to be, the face of it. Not to save face, but literally because he's like, I feel like a dumbass if I were to say these things because I don't really mean them. I mean,
and it was. I got emotional, I connected and felt for him in that moment, because he even said, like, lock me up in the tower until my rage subsides,
until my bloodlust. I was like, dang, that's what my dad used to do before he spanked us. Really? Yeah, he used to lock himself in the room.
Yeah, he used to be like, go upstairs and wait for me to cool down. I don't want to spank you while I'm still mad. I need to wait till my bloodlust subsides. And then we'd be up in our little towers, and we'd be like waiting, putting on 10 pairs of underwear, thinking we could get away with it.
Really?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes multiple layers.
Oh my God.
Anyway. But I really connected with him in this moment. I thought this was a really emotional moment. And I felt it. After that, we finally, before we come back to the present, we finally see the funeral, and we see that the kids weren't allowed to go to the funeral. None of them were allowed to go to the funeral because they thought that the assassins were still going to be out and about on the loose and they might be in danger. So they give a message to everybody who is there, and they say, look, we're going to carry on. The last thing she said to us is that, one day, we will see the sun.
Yeah.
And we are going to do everything we can to honor her wishes and her word. And we're starting over. I know that this has maybe soured humans in the minds of many people watching, but we'll start from scratch. We'll prove it to you. We'll work from the ground up. And I was like, damn, these are some
good. Dedicated kids.
Dedicated.
I mean, like, it was super sad to see how much they obviously, like, loved her because that was her mom, but, like, just her ideals and, like, what she thought was taught within them. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing when you teach your kids, like, your beliefs, about anything. They're going to think you're the, I guess what's the term? Be all? Or that's not the term. Anyway, they're going to think that you are correct because you are their parent figure. But in some cases, that's not great. This is advocacy for change versus advocacy for staying the same and hatred. Right. And that's, again, a scary thing. I think we did, mentioned it, or maybe I mentioned it in the Merphy part, but that's a scary thing, just the differences between, like what Hody is versus what he could have been. If he would have sat and listened to Hachi's stories about Ray Lee, would he have been different? If Arlong would have been telling different stories, would he, we are not born with hatred. We learn hatred, And so I think that is what was shown in his conversations with Arlong. Like, he was so susceptible and so malleable at a young age that he bought into this holy war. Maybe if he would have been sitting around a campfire with Hachi, things would be looking a lot different right now. Yeah, I love seeing baby Hachi. How freaking cute. Well, he wasn't a baby. He was just a younger grown man. No, when they were like children. Yeah, he's old. He's way older than Hody. Hody's a little boy. Hachi's Arlong's age. Oh. Yeah. Maybe he just looked small. No, he looked normal. He looked like I thought I thought they were the same age. I thought Hachi was. No, no, that makes sense because he was part of Arlong's crew. Duh. Yeah. He's not the same age as Hody. Hody couldn't join because he was too young. And that's what Jinbe had. He was telling the kids the stories. Maybe that's what I got it confused. Sorry, I'm dumb. I spaced. I'm Kami right now. Forgive me. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool way to show that. I loved that. And, so the embodiment of pure accumulated hatred for all Fishman. Like, he is the embodiment. And we will stay we will defend why Hody is a good freaking antagonist. We said it a little bit when we talked to Merphy, but I truly and deeply believe that, surface level, we're not trying to be surface level. We're trying to go deeper in the depths of the ocean.
20,000 leagues, 32,000 leagues under.
Yeah.
Below.
And we're trying to get to that meat of that crab meat.
Okay.
That lobster meat.
That Neptunian meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get there. So we're going to talk about Hody and flesh him out more.
Yeah, as we go deeper, we're going to really defend our point of view.
Yes.
As to why Hody is, a fantastic antagonist, because he is the embodiment of this theme and why that is so important and why that makes this story and this arc specifically, so good.
Mm-hmm.
We cut back to the present. And we see again, Jinbe is still kind of apologizing, and he's apologizing to Nami, and Nami's like, "Look, I went through a lot, and yeah, I hate Arlong. I don't hate you. I don't hate fish people. I hate Arlong, but at the same time, I am in a good spot now. I met really cool people. I am on a very cool adventure right now. Like, don't feel bad for me in my life. Like I've taken what life has given me, and somehow I've been able to make the best of it.
Another example of the theme that's happening here. I mean, it's just like so intertwined.
Because Nami could have hated all fish people.
Exactly. She could have literally been so horrible to every fish person she met because of Arlong, because of that experience. Because not only Arlong's team, even Hachi. I mean, like, she could have easily been like, I'm just not gonna even see you as a person because you're literally pure evil, but she didn't.
Yeah.
And Jinbe, like, has that emotional moment where he's, like, crying and, like, really, because, I mean, I'm sure he felt totally responsible for what had happened. And, I don't necessarily knew if he even knew, like, what Arlong was, like, up to and what Arlong was, like, capable of doing to these humans on this place, like, the island, like, it was pure like horror, like for Nami for years. And yeah, that was a great moment for Jinbe. I mean, Jinbe's the GOAT. We've already discussed this. We've already said this.
And this solidifies it, dude. He's the fucking goatiest of goats, dude. And he needs to join the crew ASAP, dude. He needs to be freaking Grandpa Jinbe on the freaking Thousand Sunny.
Grampy Jinbe.
This is when Hody, there's a transponder stand with a monitor that comes into the forest, and he says that not only does he want to, he also wants to usurp the throne. He doesn't just want to like take out Neptune or destroy signatures. Like he wants to become ruler, which it's not really that is a moment where you might be inclined to think that that's what makes him a very generic kind of villain, but it's not about that. It's not really about what he does. It's about what he represents, I'll say. He makes everybody step on pictures of the queen, and then decides to use the signatures as a way. He turns the signatures against the people and decides to use it as a way, to discern who the traitors are and freaking murder them, dude. He said he's gonna murder them. Yeah. I'm gonna kill everybody in this box of signatures. If your name's in here, you're dead.
Yeah, everyone's like, damn, I should have been a part of that group that took out the signature when the chance.
Yeah, somebody was like, I took it out and then I put it back in.
Because I felt bad.
Yeah.
I felt bad. She was just standing there.
She got me the second time.
Yeah.
She won me back over. I thought for sure this is going to happen. Fuck, I fucked up. I'm dead.
I'm
done. Then we cut back to Brooke, Zoro, and Usopp, who have been captured, and Robin doing what Robin does best, deciphering those Pong glyphs.
Oh yeah, she's on her own little adventure.
Yeah, she really is. And she's talking about, she's like, apology, Joy Boy. And Joy Boy is something I want to talk a little bit more about later.
Joy Boy. Sounds like a chocolate bar.
I was gonna say a chocolate bar, maybe a band. Maybe I'm thinking of like Joy Division though.
Joy Division, yeah.
But I think Joy Boy, it's a name. I don't know. It's a name that just feels like, Shirahoshi is going to be referred to or given the name like Poseidon. Is somebody going to become or inherit the Joy Boy? Is Joy Boy a title or is it someone's name,
Or is someone's code name?
Or someone's code name. Joy boy, I mean, Luffy, for the most part, seems like he's full of joy.
He's a joyous child.
He's a very joyous boy.
Joyish boy.
Maybe that'll be passed down. I don't know, because he already has, that person, Joy Boy, already had a relationship with Shirahoshi, and now Luffy has a relationship with Shirahoshi.
Well,
so I'm just saying.
Did they have a relationship with Shirahoshi? Or they had a relationship with the other previous mermaid queen.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Princess.
That's what I meant. The mermaid princess, not Shirahoshi, but the mermaid princess.
I guess Joy Boy is just the chosen one.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking maybe is going to be the case. I don't know. I'm just theorizing. I could be way off the mark right now. This is where we get that really cool fight and confrontation between Jinbe and Luffy, because Luffy wants to barge in. His friends are in danger. They are threatening to kill civilians. Luffy doesn't stand for any of that, doesn't tolerate any of that. He's going to run in guns blazing. But Jinbe convinces him and tells him why he can't do that and why him doing that will actually cause far more harm in the long term than good. And like
you're just feeding into the problem. You're feeding into like the stereotypes of people, like their expectations, I guess.
But I think what you noted in the Merphy section too is that it is interesting that of everybody Luffy seems to have come across, like Jinbe is definitely somebody that he listens to.
Oh,
when
yeah,
he's told to
100%.
not do something, he listens to. He respects him.
He respects him because, I mean, like we read in a 1-star review, Luffy, I think, no, that was Guts, never mind. But Luffy does respect people with power. He doesn't necessarily like bow down to them, but he does recognize power and he does realize when someone's more capable, I guess. That's why a part of the reason why he has so many of his crewmates is because he sees people, obviously their personalities, obviously their hearts, but people that are capable, people that can stand up for their own, do their own thing. So I'm sure when he sees Jinbe, warlord of the sea, I mean, friend of his brother, I mean, like, so on and so forth, like he respects the hell out of him, and he kind of just like he's able to really like manipulate, not in a bad way, but like really help Luffy like see the clearer picture. We saw it in like Impel Down when he's trying to like go straight after Magellan, and he's like it was Blackbeard, I think, or maybe Magellan. He goes, no, don't do that, think about what you're gonna do, you can't just jump in. And then again with him, realizing what he still has in this world.
Yeah, he's a different man now, and he kind of states that.
Yeah.
At a certain point, and you really, again, like you really feel it because you've seen everything he's had to go through to get here.
And he's gone through so much with Jinbe. Like Jinbe was in like his, I guess, like formative years of being who he is today after the time skip. So yeah, it's really, really cool how Oda just doesn't necessarily have someone say like, wow, Luffy really respects him and listens. It's just kind of, it makes sense because of what they've been through, for sure.
Yeah. Then we kind of cut to, we get a lot of the high-ranking bad guys. We get to see a lot of them, and we get to see a lot of their, quirks, their personality traits. And I understand that a lot of people don't like Hody, and a lot of people might not feel particularly fond of Vanderdecken, and especially Caribou. And like we stated in the Merphy section, I think Caribou is garbage, and I think Vanderdecken is kind of garbage too.
He's writing love letters to 6-year-olds.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, for that reason, and an equally atrocious offense is playing no significant role to me in the overall arc. Other than like the Mark fruit and Noah, which was a cool fruit and a cool concept. I
was gonna say the only way he was playing a role in this arc was when he was moving the arc.
I like it. I just think he was so uninteresting to me. He was so, and now that we've gotten to the finale, the end, he just proved to be kind of.
He was kind of, you know what he was? He was kind of a pain in the bass.
You just didn't get enough out last time. This is what this is about. You just, you had to squeeze a couple in, and I have a feeling that that's not the last one we're going to hear. By far. We're going to hear a lot more. Am I correct in theorizing this, Mehgan?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I just didn't care for. I understand people not caring for Vanderdecken. I just do think that people should give, Hody at least a little more credit within the themes. And I'm going to stop saying that. I feel like I've said it a million times. But we get to see all of the other, like, Hody's crew. We get to see all of their kind of, like, things. The swordsman's kind of a drunk guy. We've got the camouflage guy who is very prideful. And that joke was actually one of my favorite jokes. How he would be stepped on and how he would get stabbed, but he would convince people because of his pride that it was a technique to harm their blade, or it was a statement or something that he was doing purposely.
So funny.
Very funny. He was probably one of the funniest.
Yeah, out of all of them, yeah. I mean, the drinking guy was like the only part I laughed at. He was like talking and it was like mumbling. They're like, "What are you even saying?" It was just like little lines here and there, but he definitely had the most presence, I would say, out of all of the, henchmen, I guess, the team, the crew.
We get Hody's transformation, with the drugs, which again, wasn't my favorite thing about the arc, but I'm struggling with it in the moment right now. I think that having him achieve this like form, we did watch clips from the anime. Like he looked menacing, he looked cool. But again, yeah, I just felt like Oda's better than that. Oda's better than this,
Yeah, the only reason why I was really kind of not like making excuses, but just seeing like why out of this whole arc, out of everything that Oda is trying to say, everything that Oda is trying to convey, like why it would be like relevant to the situation. I do think, like I said, like the fact that he is weak and needs substitution to be on everyone else's level, like the king even says it, like these guys are just using drugs pretty much. They wouldn't have been able to like, touch the princess because the princes are very strong. I mean, it wasn't like an out to make him stronger than everyone else, but I feel like there was no real other way he could have become, got on top without
No, I do think that what you're
of
saying is absolutely part of the reason, right? That he needed to achieve, his perception was warped, and he needed to achieve this power through means other than earning them himself.
Yeah, like by any means necessary.
Yeah, I think there is something to be said about these people who will go out and rely on these other things instead of like basically putting in the work. Like Otohime was boots on the ground, kind of doing the work. And he is someone who is like taking shortcuts, but also wants to overthrow everything. I do think there is something that there was a reason for it. It's just a thing that I don't know. Maybe saying that Oda is better than that isn't the right way to say it either. That's why I said I'm kind of struggling with why to articulate. I didn't exactly love the drug thing. I am curious as to why they were invented, where they came from.
I mean, I'm sure it won't be the last time we see something like that. It was introduced for a reason.
That's what it kind of felt like too. And maybe that's closer to the reason why, because it did feel like I was just being introduced to something that was going to play a bigger part in a future arc where it might have mattered more, which has been done before, and I like it was kind of done with the dials, which I loved, but I felt like within the Skypiea arc, the dials, they were very significant and a very interesting part of the story, and it was a creative way to show these things, these powers being stored or how they could be used, and it was interesting. And again, this is just like a superhero drug, but neither here nor there. So after that, we see after Hody's transformation, we find out that Vanderdecken has decided to throw the Noah at the island using his mark fruit. The Neptune brothers, they get defeated and captured 100,000 slaves, or a decent amount of slaves, and the outcasts from Fishman, plus the slaves equals 100,000 men that is on Hody's side, and that's a big number. That the Straw Hats are going to have to contend with.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Vanderdecken's just so salty. He's literally like, if I can't have her, no one can.
No one can.
It's like, okay, chill, dude. But this part coming up, like, again, like, it's not all about fighting in this arc. There's, like, far and little fights, actually, like fleshed out fights. But we do get to see finally, the Straw Hats showing off their new skills, which was like enough for me. We got little tastes of what's to come. Seeing them all fight together finally again, and seeing what they're all capable of now, and like teamwork. It's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, right here, this is when like Madame Charlie shows up. She tells Hody and the onlookers of her vision, which lets them in on the fact that Luffy is probably going to be the one that is going to end up saving them. She tells them her vision is of Luffy destroying Fishman Island, but they're in a place where they're like, destroy it. If it means that Hody loses, destroy it, please. And that's where Hody laughs and confesses to killing the queen.
He really does laugh so out of pocket right there. I really genuinely laughed so hard.
Yeah.
Like he was like, she said it and then he just went like, ha ha ha. And they're like, you're just like, damn. It wasn't even like a menacing laugh. It was like a straight up
it's like you look dumb right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like, ha ha. It was like
you're trying too hard to be Arlong right now. You fucking wannabe poser.
Oh yeah.
You're trying way too hard to be Arlong. Why don't you try to be yourself? How about that?
It's true. What'd you say?
I said another theme.
Another theme. You could say he is. You could say he's my worst anemone. Anemone.
Is that from Finding Nemo?
It's a real thing.
No, I know. But is that pun from? Is that a Finding Nemo?
No, it's just a fish pun.
I enjoy the fish puns. Do you have more?
I have more, but I have to wait for them to be like it's an appropriate time. But I feel like every time I say it, like it's not an appropriate time because like you make fun of me.
No, I was gonna say I enjoy the fish puns. So far, it's not my favorite.
You're my worst anemone.
I'm the. Okay, let me try to think of it. I'm great white shark.
Get trout of here.
I like that one. That's a good one. See, now we're talking fish puns, baby. So yeah, this was another touching moment for me. This is when Shirahoshi reveals that she knew the whole time. I know you said that you have a problem, Mehgan.
I mean, not like a huge problem, but I was just like, it was just like, yeah, I knew the whole time, but I didn't tell anyone, and I understand why she didn't tell anyone. But the reason how she found out, I would have much rather her seen it for herself. No one else saw it. It was kind of like a thing that she just noticed because of like her power, something else. But like, oh no, Megalo just told me one day. Megalo just told me because he saw the whole thing, and it's like she was just shot of Megalo like face cracked, and I was like, I mean, I again, it's just one thing. I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, because I don't know if she can talk to Megalo. I feel like she has like a Scooby-Doo Shaggy kind of relationship with Megalo, where she kind of like has to like they have to kind of play charades to figure it out. So that'd be a dark game of charades. She's like, Megalo, what are you trying to tell me? And he's like, your mom.
And he's like,
yeah.
My mom?
Yeah, Megalo, she's dead. This is not funny. This hurts me deeply. Yeah.
He's like, okay, so my mom.
Yeah.
She died.
She's dead, yes. She was killed by a human. Yeah. A human, right? A human killed her? A human didn't kill her. Who killed her? Yeah, see, then he would be stuck.
And then he'd be like,
I was trying to do a Scooby-Doo impression, but it started to come out like Yoda, and I was like, I'm going to abandon ship.
Yeah, it really did sound like that. That was crazy.
Okay, anyway, we said we were going to get through it fast.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm just having fun.
I'm having fun, too.
Excuse me.
Making me look like the fucking bad guy. Dude, making me look like fucking Billie Eilish over here. I'm
just kidding. Okay, because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so I think this was a touching moment because of the whole speech that Jinbe ends up giving her later about the nurturing this bud, right? Because again, this is something that she sat with, and it was probably, especially with the circumstances, like very, very difficult for her to not tell, but she knew that by telling anybody, it would mean it would make her mother's dream, achieving her mother's dream, that much harder. It would go against, what her mother wanted, which was to not hate the person who did this. That's where Shirahoshi really starts to show what kind of strength she has. She might not be able, she might be a big ass mermaid and she might not be able to clobber everybody, but she
definitely could if she wanted to.
I mean, I guess she could, but she's got some emotional strength, okay? So we need to respect her for that.
Yeah, I really relate to her because she like keeps things, information or like trauma, and she just hides them away for a long time.
Oh, until they start to like affect you.
Yeah.
Like on a deeper level,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of think that
you think
is
that, like, if
dealing
you
with them
deep
by
it-
pushing them down.
Yeah, if you push them down, they'll eventually go away.
Right, and then they rear their ugly head at the worst moment.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. I could see that that you relate to that.
Yeah, favorite character.
A lot of people don't like her.
A lot of people don't like her. But yeah.
This is where everybody starts chanting Luffy's name, and he pops out of Megalo's mouth, kicks the shit out of Hody.
Which
Sick
I really,
moment.
really liked. I mean, obviously in the beginning when he doesn't want to be a hero just because he thinks that, heroes share their food. I don't want to share my food, and even Jinbei's like, what? That is not what a hero means. But his definition of a hero is, Luffy's always been like that. He doesn't want credit. He doesn't really need that validation. The only thing he really wants is to become king of the pirates and to help his crew, and to help other people that are, in need for help. But he's not doing it because he wants a title. He's not doing it because he thinks he's going to get like money or fame or whatever. He does it because he wants to do it. So him kind of stating finally that, I don't want to be a hero. Like, I'm a pirate. And seeing how he doesn't like people cheering for him, that's the worst thing. He hates it. And then at the end, of course, we see everyone cheering for him, asking him for his help. And yeah, it was just a cool moment.
And he was like, "Stop."
He's like, "I hate you all."
Then we see that Nami has also been let in on the plan, and that she has kind of been using her mirage to sneak around and grab the celestial dragon document that Orihime obtained.
Mm-hmm.
This is the friend or foe moment, which was a huge, huge moment of Luffy telling them that they have to make the choice what side he's on.
So sick. I mean, all the straw hats behind him. I mean, so sick.
Because it's like, so many people be like, "I'm here to help you," and then they end up, who knows what they be doing,
Who knows?
But Luffy is a man of action, and he's gonna say, "Look, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do." And if
I'm not gonna tell anyone what to do.
And if you think I'm your friend, cool. If you think I'm your foe, cool. I don't care, because I'm not in it, for you to like me. I'm in it to protect people.
Mm-hmm.
To do what I think is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where we found out all that stuff, and that Luffy not wanting to be a hero part was so funny to me.
Yeah.
Nurturing the bud of peace, which we already kind of talked about. That's when Luffy starts to call the princess Wimpy Hoshi, which was a cool moment. She's like, "Did you just call me Wimpy Hoshi? That's kind of my name." And he's like, "Yeah, you're not as wimpy as I thought you were. You're still pretty. You still cry a lot, but yeah, that was cute." Hody fucks up big time. And he says that he's fit to be the king of the pirates.
Yeah, he says the P word or the
PK.
K word.
PK or king of the. He says the K O
T P word.
KOTP.
And Luffy goes, "Huh? I don't think so, bitch."
Yeah, he says, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Yeah, what did you just say? You could have said anything else.
And he goes, "I don't think so." And then he takes out 50,000 men with one look. Can Hody do that? Sober? I doubt it. Luffy did it sober. Okay. Damn. This is a story about, not, you don't need drugs. People think that, that they're better on drugs.
That's another theme.
Luffy did it sober. Luffy put in the work. Luffy worked hard as fuck for 2 years. He didn't take no shortcuts.
To get that natural high.
Get that natural high.
Yeah.
This is when we see a little bit more of Brooks' moves, all of their moves. We see Brooks' Festival Night, which was incredible. We find out that he can kind of, his soul, it kind of exists in the physical world, requires a lot of energy to do so, and he can kind of like pull people through music into this like spiritual, kind of realm and make them see things like a festival, which causes them to shoot their guns into the air like fireworks. We see Zoro's black rope dragon twister, Sanji's skywalk, and Robin's big ass legs.
Dude, that was shocking. I don't think they did it. Did they do it in the anime?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. I was like, damn, if she got big ass legs, I
mean, I do think it was just the legs. They were separate. There's no torso right there. It was just like individual legs coming out of the ground. Like it started at the calf or at the thigh. And
it
then
was crazy. I know someone was very happy to see her feet. So.
Oh, big feet too. And maybe there is a situation or scenario where she can, summon, maybe it would start waist up and then she'd be like, her legs would be up in the air like that. And then she'd be like, everybody get in for cover, protect yourselves from the debris. I have, this is designed to like save us from shrapnel, getting hit by shrapnel. Hurry, everybody, get in. Frankie, you first. Like, get in, hurry, quick, And then she'd do the do with the legs. Yeah.
Flew.
Yeah. And then because Frankie would be in there too, right? Frankie would be in there. She would open her legs wide up.
Okay, it sounds like you're just writing
your
own fan fiction.
She would open her legs wide up like that, and Frankie would be in there. He'd be like, radical beam, and there's just a laser beam comes out, and you're like, that's sick, and I know you are. Yeah. Anyway, we might explore this concept.
It's insane.
But speaking of Frankie,
wildly inappropriate.
Speaking of Frankie, we see the Black Rhino FRU-4 and the Brachio Tank 5 and Commander Chopper.
So cute. I drew a little
cute ass Chopper, dude.
time.
Chopper actually was on some boss shit, dude.
He really was. I said it before, but I love to see Chopper's growth in this arc. I mean, just to see what he's capable of now. He has this like little tank thing, so he could be on more of the front lines. Like, I mean, he can change forms whenever he wants. He can go berserk for that 3-minute mark, which is kind of like an interesting time limit. So I'm curious to see if it goes up or
right. It seems specific. Like he'll maybe be able to train harder and maybe get like 5 minutes or
yeah,
whatever.
It's just like 3 minutes. I'm like, okay. But that was really cute. His personality shines, and I love to see it.
There was a very funny moment where there's another one of the Hodie's crew kind of digs the tunnels. Daruma, I think, is something like that.
Yeah.
Digs the tunnels, and the tank falls.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "I'll dig another tunnel," so that because Frankie's on the Brachio one, I think, or Frankie's on the Rhino one, and he's like, "I'll dig another tunnel for him to fall in," and Frankie falls into the hole that was already there, and he's like, "Did he just fall into the?
This kind of idiot.
Did he just do that on his own?" But then it's all for the Iron Pirate General Frankie reveal. They combine and fuse together. They rotate heads like a freaking Voltron or a Power Ranger, and or whatever the Power Rangers bot, whatever their robot was, whatever they called it, Mega Droid or something like that.
Are you calling me a
Mehgan Droid? They were in there. They were in there. Mehgan Droid, and Mehgan was like, to all the Power Rangers, she's like, get in. Yeah.
To all the Power Rangers.
Yeah, to all of them.
All of them.
But this is so sick, dude. And I can't lie. I've seen art of this before. I've seen figures of this before. I'm like, how the fuck? When the fuck? I've seen it before, and it lived up to all the hype. It lived up to all the hype, and I'm getting a freaking Iron Pirate General Frankie figure. You best believe your butt.
I loved Hornpoint Chopper too. So cute.
Sick as fuck.
Has a figure too, which I've seen, and just their reactions to like Frankie is like the best thing in the world. It makes my heart like literally. It's the best thing in the world. All of them. Usopp, Luffy, Chopper, when they all react to Frankie, it's the cutest thing.
Did you notice the funny thing about the General Frankie, the Iron Pirate? It was so funny that it was this huge giant robot that did shapeshifted and did all of this stuff. But every time he did a move from it, he like opened up the front and like did the move himself. So they kept going like, you're the one, do it, like, because he was like, Iron Pirate, like Gatling gun, and you think these like big guns are gonna pop up, but then the door just swings open, and he's like, brrr, and he's just shooting everybody from the inside, and then later he's like Iron Pirate flamethrower, and then it looks like it's gonna shoot a flamethrower, but then the hatch opens again, and he's the one that does it.
They're like, it's
what?
you?
They're like, if it's you, then why do you need this thing? What is this thing for? But I thought that was really funny.
Loved it.
That's, again, like you said, we get to see Nami's new stuff. We get to see some of Usopp's, and we don't get to see all of it. We get to see little glimpses, little peeks. We get to see Chopper's horn point, and learn that he doesn't need rumble balls anymore, and that he's
only
also
needs rumble balls for, I think,
just the berserker.
Just the berserk
form. And he's also accepted. There's a really heartfelt, cute moment between him and Zoro.
Oh, I loved that. I loved that moment.
Where he's like, "You kind of look like a monster, Chopper."
And he goes, I'll be a monster if it means, making sure Luffy's safe. And he's like finally just like coming to terms like with this term monster, but it's just how you use it.
Yeah, he's like, I only cared so much because I wanted to make friends. I got friends now, dude. Let's go fucking monster mode. Monster mode.
That's what kind of happens, It's like monster mode when they're like, I got a boyfriend now.
Yeah,
I'm going monster mode.
That's what happens all the time. Like I'm going.
I'm eating that,
ice
chili
cream,
cheese
check.
fries. Yeah.
Chili cheese fries. Check.
I'm going monster mode. I'm going berserk mode.
I'm going berserker mode, dude. I'm gonna be eating rumble balls, and that's just candy. I'm gonna be eating a lot of candy because who cares? Who cares? I got him now. Yeah.
I got my captain now.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. This is when Luffy is on his way to Hody, and this was a really cool moment too, because he's on his way there. Hody's crew tries to stop him. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't move. Zoro and Sanji come out of the sky, handle everybody, take everybody away, and Luffy just keeps walking. Isn't affected by it at all.
No.
Beeline to Hody. This was a really cool moment.
He's pissed now. Luffy is pissed.
Yeah. This is when the arc starts to fall onto the island with Watatsumi, and the princess notices that it's starting to chase after her and swims away. And Hody's like, okay, it's clear that Vanderdecken has sabotaged me. He has turned on me. He has betrayed me. But he might be onto something. So I'm gonna head up there to the arc and
kill him
and kill him first for betraying me. And then there might be something else. There might be something else I can use all of this for. Luffy pursues him and is given a piece of coral that creates bubbles. And then we get a little bit of Luffy versus Hody in the sea, which I thought was going to be a little harder for Luffy. This is the only part that I thought like, oh damn, maybe because Luffy was kind of just, defeating him or hitting him, striking him, hurting him with ease. And when they were in the water, and there's that panel of Hody, and he's huge, and he's like is like all shadow. I thought like, oh, this is like he's on his turf now. This is gonna be tough.
I of course like had a little problem with that just because it was so easy, but I mean, we have to think about it. If Luffy didn't necessarily have a good handle on his hockey, like I don't think he would have had such an easy time. Especially just, I don't even think the moves would have been as powerful because he's using that, he's implementing that in his fighting, not just to stop people, but with like the power source.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm sure if he didn't have hockey, it wouldn't have been that easy. It wouldn't have been, what it was. But because of that, just gave him a little more edge, or at least to be on like somewhat or a little bit above like the steroided out, fish guy, the Hody man.
The Hody man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, I thought it was going to be more of a challenge, and it was a little bit of a challenge, but ultimately, and this was cool, the Neptune brothers show up to help Shirahoshi and Luffy. I say this is cool because we get to see Luffy just cruising around on like, I think it's like Fukaboshi, I think is his name.
Yeah. I like him. I like all the
cool.
princes.
He's cool. Yeah. And we get a little bit of Vanderdecken versus Hody. And
not really a
Hody's
fight.
Not really a fight. Hody's plan to knock Decken out and hopefully kill him and cause the ship to fall back onto Fishman Island, because Shirahoshi is, as the target, swimming far away, causing the ship to go up, and he wants to undo all that so it'll come crashing back down. But he needs to kill Shirahoshi before, because again, he's very scared of Shirahoshi because of her ability that he saw on the day of her mother's death. This is a moment that I really like too, though, that Luffy proclaims to Vanderdecken, because Vanderdecken says you can't protect anybody, and Luffy's like, dude, I'm protecting everything.
Yeah, that's
what these 2 years were for.
That's the one thing you do not want to say to Luffy. That's when he was like, what? Because it just probably flashing back to his freaking brother.
Yeah.
You can't protect anyone. That's literally what he said. Like, I can't protect anyone.
Well, I think he's so confident, and he's like, no, dude, I'm protecting everything. Trust. I've known what it was like to not be able to protect somebody, and that's why I've been working my ass off for the last 2 years. That's what the last 2 years was for.
Yeah,
and I'm
bitch
protecting
Hody.
Everything.
Bitch ass Hody.
Yeah.
He said bitch in the actual Viz translation. It was crazy. Yeah. I was like, oh wow, we're doing cussing now. You know?
Yeah, it was crazy. I liked it though. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Luffy call more people bitch.
Yeah, I hope it's something that is consistent.
Oh, for sure.
Then we get a Watatsumi versus Sanji and Jinbe. This is where we get a lot of little pairings off.
I like the versus matches. They were very, very fun, cool. Again, we get to see the highlights, not necessarily like a full ass fight. Usopp, again, so fucking cool. He is so confident now. I love to see him where he's at.
Yeah, I want to list them off really quick, and then you tell me, like, out of all of them, maybe what your favorite one was. Because we have, like, that Watatsumi versus Sanji and Jinbe. We have Zoro versus Hyozao or Hyoz, the swordsman guy. We have General Frankie versus Icarus. We have Brook versus Zio. Usopp versus Daruma. And Dosen versus Chopper. Out of all of those, do you have a favorite or one that stood out to you the most?
I mean, I would say definitely maybe the Brook fight, and I would say honestly, I mean, I really like Chopper, but Usopp, just to see him fight like that on that level was really, really cool. I mean, that's the first time we've kind of gotten, we kind of gotten a Returns of Obi, not really, and this is the first time we're actually seeing him be like that line, you know. This is probably around the time where I'd say a lie to get out of it or I'd run away, but I'm just not that guy anymore. And I was like, hell yeah, Usopp.
Yeah, Usopp says, in the past, I would have told a huge whopper.
I like Whopper.
But now I can actually make it happen. That was incredible. I would say that there is only one correct answer to that question.
Oh.
And the correct answer is Brook versus Zio.
Okay.
I
like Zio. Yeah.
You got it right.
I said it first.
That was your first. That was your first answer.
Pick. What would you have done if I didn't say that?
You don't want to know. And the audience, frankly, I don't think the audience wants to know either. I don't think they can handle it. I don't think they're ready for it. I don't think is something that even we'd be allowed to even show on YouTube. To be honest, that's what would happen.
I mean, you said that before you'd pull a Luffy on me. You literally said it on the episode. So I think they know.
And
you didn't see it. I actually hit him.
Ow! What the heck?
You're done.
I would say that the Brooklyn was for sure my absolute favorite. It was taken to another level. I mean, Brook was a highlight of this part of the arc for me. Everything that all of his dialogue was so incredibly well written, and to use the fact that he was and is someone who has died and knows death, and for his blade and his soul to come with the chill of the dead. I mean, this was like shit I never expected to see.
Yeah,
and it was right up my alley, and I loved it. I cannot tell you how much I loved this. If I had to pick a second, I would say, I mean, I love my boy Frankie.
Yeah, you do.
But I would have to agree with you again, Mehgan. I think you had two right answers. I would say that it was Usopp versus Daruma, because he's flashing back to Alabasta and his learning and his growth, and we're getting to see, that, like you said, that line. Brook and Usopp's fights. The best.
Top tier.
This is a funny moment that we kind of just like breeze past, but Vanderdecken has been knocked out, but he is not completely dead.
Of course he's not.
Because, Hody doesn't want that. Hody doesn't want him to die right away because he has some stuff he still needs to attend to. And then he wants Hody to, or then he wants Vanderdecken to die at the exact moment so that everything comes crashing down. But Vanderdecken wakes up and he's like, all right, I don't know what happened, but I got to get Hody back. I got to figure this shit out. And he just slips and falls and cracks his head over and then the ship starts falling. That was actually pretty hilarious, dude. I actually really enjoyed that a lot. I don't know if anybody was upset by that, but I thought that was great.
Yeah, he needed to end like that.
Yeah. This is another crazy cool moment. Fukaboshi hears Hody's true nature. We've talked about it a lot in the Merphy portion. I've said, what I've said for the sake of not repeating it to or ad nauseum. I will just say it very quickly one more time. That line, nothing, is so powerful and so scary and so real. And I think it is what makes, Hody maybe not maybe not like the strongest villain or the baddest villain but just like the realest villain and a very dangerous person. And there was something very chilling about that line to me personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, Queen Otohime's like goal is to stop this cycle from happening, and he's like a prime example of like that cycle. So it is really cool to see him say that, because it is like, what other reason? I mean, I'm sure we would have found out, but just to say that, I mean, it's like you're killing these people just because you hate them, for nothing. Like, you're doing this for nothing. It's showing like the stupidity. It's showing like how, narrow-minded I guess he is just about the world he lives in, because he's making assumptions or making opinions off of what he's told. And children are impressionable, but for sure. And that's why I really, really, really enjoyed the kind of turnaround at the end when we get that really cool moment with one of the fishman and a little kid. And he goes, all the fish, all the people up there, all the humans want, they hate you. And then the little kid goes like, really? And then he like kind of says, well, some of them do. And like just that little change of dialogue to a child and going forward, it's like it changes everything.
It could change the world.
It could change the Fishman Island.
Yeah.
But I really, really loved that answer. And it's like, I don't want to hear like, it's not Thriller Bark. Nothing happened.
Well, that was just a joke.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Well, people think that Hody's a joke.
Yeah.
And I just want to say.
But specifically Thriller Bark, they say nothing happens because Zoro says.
Yeah, I know
nothing happened. So.
I know it's a joke. Like, I get the joke.
I don't know that you do. I'm just kidding. I saw a rage and I saw a fury in your eye, and I'm just kidding. Okay. Smile at the camera.
Remember when you called Big Mom my mom?
I said, yo mama. I didn't call her your mom. That's crazy. I would never talk about your mom like that. Remember when you thought
I just remembered that. That was wild of you.
No, because I said she looks like yo. You said yo baba, but you said it like yo baba, and I said yeah, yo baba, yo mama. I called your mom you baba, if anything.
Moving on. I don't forget.
I just want to point this out. This is an important moment for me. Obviously, there's this whole point really, really quickly with the guys in the air tank who are gonna kind of send a bubble to wrap to kind of like encase the arc and allow Luffy to kind of do what he needs to do. But it cuts back to Robin and the Mega Monk or Watatsumi, who is now the Mega Monk. And Robin is just fighting everybody in sunglasses, dude. She has her sunglasses on the whole time.
No, I like that. I can't turn down a request from a handsome man.
Yeah.
What you talking about, Jinbe?
Yeah, she might have, dude. But Frankie and Jinbe are gonna have to fight.
Frankie, do not hear. No, damn, they would have to fight.
But I'm shipping Robin and Frankie over Robin and Jinbe.
Robin all day.
It's Robin. This is when Jinbe tells her to free the human slaves.
Yes.
And she does. And she also kind of shows off her new move, the double clutch, I believe. Or that is maybe not necessarily the move where she sprouts basically two of herself, but I think it might be. But we do get to see that now she is not able to just sprout multiple hands and multiple, feet. She's like sprouting like full, like robins, full other robins. Like this was awesome. Awesome.
It's like clone no jutsu.
It was a little like what Nami did was a little more Kagebunshin. What she's doing
Kagebunshin, that's what it's called.
like it's a little different. It's a little different. Again, we said the true power of the Revivi fruit. Usopp's line: Hody is a monster that lives in fear of his ancestors' hate being forgotten. I thought that was a cool line. I wrote that down, and I wrote this down. When people die, they leave nothing behind. It is what the living still carries that affects the future, right? This was amazing. So well written. A lot of these lines were so well written, I had to jot them down. We already talked about Hody hearing Arlong stories versus Hachi's, and this is another thing that was touched on in the Merphy episode, or the Merphy portion of this episode. The hatred that was brewing in the Fishman district that we pretended not to see. We only focused on the outward appearances and pretended we were making progress. We should have started by fighting inward. Powerful shit here, dude. Fukaboshi is spitting freaking bars right here, dude. He's speaking to my heart, dude. He said hatred is an illusion that the living create and amplify on their own.
Are you Pastor
We
Lucci?
do not need our dude. I'm Pastor Fukaboshi, dude. That's a new church. That's a new church, and he competes with Lucci. He competes with Pastor Lucci. Pastor Lucci, like I don't need, you can try all you want, but I'm Pastor Lucci. Okay, I got the biggest congregation in on the Grand Line, but Fukaboshi might have the biggest congregation in the New World. I don't know how it goes. I don't know the division of church and island. I don't know how that works out there in the New World, but I'm just saying he was on his little freaking pastor, what do you call a little pastor, a little freaking podium right there, and he was saying hatred is an illusion that the living create and amplify on their own. Now you need to go find every racist person you ever met in your life, and you just need to scream this in their face, dude. Hatred is an illusion that the living create and amplify on their own, all right? You need to tell them. You need to tell every racist person you ever met in your life to read Fishman Island, okay?
That's true.
And change their hearts. Anyway.
That was a good speech.
Thank you so much.
It's like you acted like you wrote it or something, though.
I did take a lot of liberties, a lot of credit. I made it, I kind of commanded it to make it seem like I had any part in writing it, which I definitely did not. We see a cool flashback. The citizens of Fishman Island think back to Whitebeard. Luffy tries to destroy the ship to protect the island, especially after that line, "We do not need our past." And again, Brooks' cool line about death, saying that you talk a lot about death, but you ain't never died. And the Impact Wolf. This is where a lot of just like big fights that we've already kind of covered. A lot of the bigger moments we've already kind of covered this, so we're gonna just like go
plow through it
just to stay on track. But I really liked that panel of them all in their new forms when Watatsumi or whatever his name is falling from the sky. Sanji kind of lands down and him and Zoro are going at it, and then Frankie looks to Chopper and he's like, Chopper in his berserk form, he's like, Chopper, can you get a little smaller, dude? I mean, you're making my giant robot look a little less giant, and I need you to kind of like kind of shrink it down a little bit, kind of pull it back a little bit. This was so cool to see them in such a commanding, dynamic, awesome pose, but then to still just be the Straw Hats that we know and love at the same time. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Everybody cheers on Luffy. And Neptune apologizes to Joy Boy. He says, Joy Boy, I don't know, but that arc's got to be destroyed.
Joy Boy. More like Koi Boy.
That's a good one. I like that. This is an important moment. Shirahoshi calls the Neptunians to lift the ship, and guess what? Them motherfuckers can talk.
They can talk, and they speak eloquently. And they're also pretty smart, dude. They're very smart, and which leads me to be like, why? Obviously, if you can't communicate, maybe the government stopped people from communicating. Maybe the 100-year void that keeps them separate. That's why, because there's a lot of places separated from the Neptunians. The Sea Kings, and where you can go because they are so violent. And they did say Luffy, did he hear us talk?
He heard.
Yeah, he heard for sure.
That boy heard.
And who else can hear? Goldie Roger. Goldie Roger can hear.
Bro, Goldie Roger is Luffy, dude. I've seen too much evidence.
He is.
Luffy can time travel, or Goldie
Maybe
Roger.
Maybe he's like a reincarnation.
Oh, dude, but it hasn't been 100 years. I don't think it's been 100 years, because they do talk about, right here.
When was Goldie Roger?
Say that,
when was Goldie Roger executed?
I don't think it was 100 years ago.
It wasn't. No, I'm saying maybe it's a reincarnation, like Goldie Roger reincarnated into Luffy.
No, yeah. I'm saying it could be. But I was comparing.
What are you talking about?
I was comparing it just to how, how Shirahoshi is sort of she's like, you know, the inheritor of these abilities. Maybe there are other abilities that other people have that are inherited as well. Like the Neptunians call her, you know, their sovereign or something like
queen.
that. But the word sovereign, I think, is similar to that. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really know what the exact definition of sovereign is, but they say the ship was built for them to pull, and every few hundred years their sovereign is born into the form of a mermaid. And why do you think that is? Who knows? I don't know. I'm over here theorizing, dude, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's a form of reincarnation, and maybe, you know, Goldie Roger passed some shit down through the universe.
Or, I mean, Goldie Roger could just be his dad.
You really still think that?
I think that.
They
look so similar.
Dragon is his dad.
I mean, that's what we thought about
Or
Ace.
maybe, yeah, right, because maybe there's gonna be another reveal, and it's gonna be Luffy at the hospital or something like that, and he got swapped with another baby. And it was, you know, or, you know, Goldie Roger, it is Goldie Roger's kid, but Dragon, you know, I don't know, like Dragon, you know, I don't know.
He gave him up to Dragon or something.
Like he gave him up to Dragon. Who knows, man? Who knows? But I think
Goldie Roger is Luffy's mother.
There you go. Nobody knows who Luffy's mom. I'll check this. Oh, I guess this wouldn't make sense. But it would be cool because the timeline, it wouldn't add up. But I was like, you know, maybe Ivankov, maybe, you know, because everybody's like the Croc mom theory. But what about the Goldie Roger mom theory? But it just doesn't line up because Goldie Roger was already dead before Luffy was born.
Yeah.
So there goes that theory. Debunked
right before our eyes.
Right before our very eyes. The great power has finally awakened. Luffy can hear the Neptunians, or we are led to believe he can, just like Roger could. And then it kind of conveniently, the Neptunians pull the ship down to where Tom's brother is. And Tom's brother, you know, being a shipwright, you know, maybe he's going to fix that.
Of course he's going to fix it up.
Hody and Decken get captured. Luffy needs F-type blood, and Jinbe is going to be the one that gives it to him. Again, we talked about it briefly in the Merphy portion of this episode, but the anime was heightened. This moment was made far more impactful, I think, by just seeing these same sequence of events in motion, and everybody, the blood pass everybody, and as it passes everybody, their flashbacks and how they have been affected by the prejudices of, you know, each other. And it was a really powerful and probably one of the most powerful and impactful moments when Jinbe and Luffy are laying next to each other on that rock. That small, narrow tube was a vivid and real representation of the true road towards the sun. And the Sun Pirates are all about the sun.
They are all about the sun. And we all need the sun to survive, whether or not we are a fishman or a human.
And so Pestalozzi's all about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Which might be Brooke now. I don't know.
Oh, it might be Brooke. I really like this moment a lot. Obviously, this was like definitely a highlight for me. Again, seeing how Fisherman Tiger couldn't take the blood because he was...
Fisher Tiger. It's
the Fisherman Tiger?
Yeah, I just want to protect you from the comments.
Sorry, Fisher Tiger. Think of like Fisher Price. Okay, Fisher Tiger. He couldn't take the blood because he was too proud, or like not proud, but he just couldn't do it. He couldn't stoop down to that level, and you know, receiving it versus Jinbe giving it. You know, spilling blood versus giving blood. That was really, really cool to see. And I mean, now they're like blood brothers pretty much. So, you know, who knows what Luffy can do with that he used type, I forgot what his type was. F. So.
And we're going to save a little time for the theory section too. And I just want to say, you know, do some of your own research on, again, Charles R. Drew and that situation too, you know, about, this man who was a leader or
one of the people that kind of led like blood transfusions and really made strides in like how we can operate blood transfusions, the future of them and stuff. And I was just like looking up, and I was interested to find all these things that kind of like really correlated with this story, especially with the blood transfusions and stuff. I know that Oda, like, nothing is coincidence, so I would not be surprised if he, you know, saw this story or knew of it, because it is just like history. But we kind of said in the beginning, so I don't want to like stay on it too long. Right. But pretty much this guy He got in an accident and they couldn't save him. They already knew he couldn't save him, and he was in a white hospital. And even before the blood transfusion, he just couldn't make it. Word got out to everyone, especially like African Americans, because he was an African American, that they couldn't save him because they didn't want to give him a blood transfusion because it was white blood, which was not true, and it just spread rapidly and created like more of a divide. So it is just like word of mouth. What you hear from people can like really affect how you think about another person or like race or group of people.
Some of these white folks out here, I'm half white, I can say it. Some of these white folks out here are getting a little too comfortable. Is all I'm saying. Getting a little too comfortable. All right.
I can say 15% of it.
Okay.
So I can just say like "wah."
Yeah, you can say "wah." Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some of these "wah" folks are getting a little too comfortable, and yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, it's over. They've been captured. The remnants of the Fishman pirates, they're going to be living on Fishman Island itself now. This is beautiful because King Neptune, he wants to address the problem, and he wants to. And again,
finally, damn, it took you this fucking long, huh?
Well, that there was these slums that they were ignoring, that they weren't paying any attention to. I mean, come on, dude. Otis, loud and clear right now.
And it literally goes back to like the queen, and she, that guy was stealing, and she goes like, I'm not doing my job. Like, I'm not helping out everyone. I'm not helping to the fullest I can. And he just kind of let that go. He let them just.
Yeah. Oh man, this is heavy stuff, man. This is really heavy stuff. Anyway, this is where Jinbe does promise to join. But he's got some business to attend to. We do find out what some of that business is a little bit later.
Business.
There's a feast. There's sweets. We haven't seen a feast in a long time, dude.
I know.
We haven't seen a feast in a couple of arcs.
They get to party.
Finally.
So cute.
Robin pulls Neptune out, and Neptune makes a wild leap, dude.
Yeah, Neptune, it's like one of those things where it's like a guy comes up to you and you're like, I'm sorry. I have a boyfriend. And he goes, oh, your shoe's just untied.
Right. Well, I think
like
that
you just jump.
Right, yeah, Neptune jumped the shark.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, look, Robin, I know why you're bringing me out here, dude. I saw those big ass fucking feet in the battle. I know why you're bringing me out here. And she's like, I need to talk to you about the ponglyphs.
And he's like, you can read those?
He's like,
oh shit.
That's what I was talking about too.
Yeah. You're pretty.
Yeah.
No, it's you look pretty. What? I said you look shitty. Good night, Denise.
This is where Neptune tells Robin everything. That Joy Boy was a person that lived on the surface.
Yes.
During the 100-Year Void, and the message is an apology for a broken promise. This is where Robin puts together that the Ponglyph and Skypiea was talking about an ancient weapon being there, and the name of the princess is going to be passed down, and that name that's going to be passed down is Poseidon, meaning that Shirahoshi is the ancient weapon. Dun.
And all the ancient weapons are probably going to be people or creatures or whatever, which is very exciting, and I hope we get to see more of that soon.
And just in case you forgot, Caribou's still around, unfortunately.
God. He probably did forget because he's very forgettable.
He overhears everything.
Of course he does.
And,
he's a real freaking stick in the mud.
He really is. Like I said in the first part, dude, he fucking wishes he was Buggy, dude. He's trying too hard to be Buggy, dude. More importantly, something else that we also didn't cover is that Jinbe fills Luffy in on everything, that's been happening in the New World, the state of the New World.
Ooh, this was crazy.
This was crazy shit, dude.
And I love that we just got it this way, this information. I love that we didn't see it. I love that it's just word of mouth. Like, oh, did you hear? Akainu and freaking Kiji freaking duked it out.
Duked it out for 10 fucking days.
Like, what?
Because we saw at the end, we did see Sengoku say that he would like to promote Aokiji. We were left to assume, again, like Oda does, don't assume anything. We assumed that was what was enacted, what happened, but it didn't. There were a lot of other people who were like, no. You don't get to just choose who it is. There has to be a unanimous, or we have to all kind of agree and decide.
Bitch ass Akainu was like, oh, well, I killed Ace, so.
Well, it sounded like whether Akainu was really gunning for it or not, it sounded like a lot of people wanted it to be Akainu. And Aokiji, like we've seen he's, what is it, Lazy Justice?
Yeah.
And I think people are like, yeah, no way is Lazy Justice going to be the new fleet admiral. So they duke it out for 10 days on this island. And I don't want to say of course, but unfortunately, I guess, Akainu emerges victorious.
Yes.
Which was pretty shocking. And it was even more shocking to find out that means that Aokiji just quit.
Which is
Crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's doing now.
I really do, and I really want to see him again, and hopefully we see him again soon, and hopefully this means now that he's not as tied. We already know he has a pretty strong moral compass.
Yeah.
That he somehow becomes more of a...
Helper. A friend, not a foe.
Than an adversary, yeah.
Yeah. Super exciting.
We also find out that the Blackbeard pirates have also made some pretty fearful strides.
Oh,
and Blackbeard's been labeled one of the 4 emperors, so it's Blackbeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and Shanks, and that they're hunting people down with devil fruit powers, and they're stealing them. They're looting them of their abilities.
Chopper's like, I'm scared. I don't want mine. They're gonna take mine for sure. And they're like, no one wants yours. You have the human fruit, Chopper. So funny, so cute. But yeah, they're really a force to be reckoned with. So I'm interested to see when Blackbeard and Luffy meet again.
This is all huge.
Yeah.
This is all huge. This changes so many things going forward into the new world. The new world, has gone through so many changes in these 2 years, and it's a completely different landscape. The world of One Piece, the landscape of One Piece is completely different. I am really excited and curious of the implications that are going to be a result of that moving forward.
Yeah.
We're going to really power through this part. You get Old Hody, Caribou, the treasure, Then Nami's like, I want the treasure. So they go get it. They come across 2 people that are part of Big Mom's organization, Pecoms and Baron Tamago.
Dude, love Pecoms.
Pecoms is cool.
Pecoms is dope. And he has a freaking 330 million bounty.
Luffy's got 400 million, though.
Yeah, but they say it's usually not supposed to go higher than 300 million.
It caps. Oh, it caps.
Yeah.
So maybe he got capped or something.
So he's pretty formidable.
No, yeah, for sure. And I don't think that, he would definitely give maybe some other members of the Straw Hats a hard time for sure.
Yeah, but again, Big Mom, we're getting more and more, and she is very scary, but very entertaining. I did like that whole interaction.
And the other guy is basically just Dr. Eggman, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of cool. I like his design. I did think it was kind of clever to put like a plate and a cup, and it kind of looks like a hat. I did think there was some clever aspects of his character design, but Pecoms definitely wins.
Yeah, I'm getting some like very strong Alice in Wonderland vibes.
Oh, okay.
For what's to come in the next arc.
Okay.
Because it is like, you see Big Mom. She's kind of like the Queen of Hearts, maybe.
Oh, okay.
We have that guy with the tea. She's having a tea party.
Yep. That's okay.
And it looks like a cake.
I'm starting to see it. And speaking of cake, we see Big Mom on Cake Island, which is what I call my ass, actually. I call it Cake Island.
Shit. Hi, welcome to Cake Island.
Welcome to Cake Island. And
you can...
You can what?
Nothing.
You can what?
It's inappropriate.
All right.
It's inappropriate. I'll tell you after. Maybe they can guess it.
Okay. And of course, even though Big Mom is huge and is a huge force, literally huge, but also a huge force. Of course, this doesn't stop Luffy. She calls Luffy directly, or calls to see what's happening on Fishman Island because her sweets aren't being delivered on time. And Luffy picks up the phone and he's like, he fucking cusses her out, dude. He's like, I ate all your sweets. I ate all 10 tons of them. I don't give a fuck, dude. And you're saying you're going to threaten to harm the inhabitants of Fishman Island. I just got done saving Fishman Island. I'm going to come to wherever you're at. I'm going to find you. I'm going to beat you. And then Fishman Island is going to be my territory. Luffy's so strong now he can claim territories. This is what I'm fucking talking about. We are here. We are out here, okay? We are claiming territories. People are wishing, hoping, wanting to hoist the Jolly Roger, the Straw Hat Jolly Roger.
I loved that moment.
Yes.
And he's like, after Big Mom, but I'm hoping to get a Jolly Roger with a straw hat. I was like...
I even think I kind of wrote down almost what he says, like, because I thought I had to write down like some of this verbatim because I think it was just so well like written. Because Jinbe says like that he might accidentally, by like breaking his contract, his oath, it might incur some wrath. It might incur Big Mom's wrath on Fishman Island. To which Neptune replies, "If we lose her flag, there is another I would seek to borrow." And Jinbe's like, "Ha, a most formidable flag indeed." Bro, I came so hard in my fucking pants when I read that. I was like, "A most formidable flag indeed." I was like, "Indeed, Jinbe, yeah, a most formidable flag." I was, you start talking like that, you get me hard, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this was fucking sick, dude. And they end up, Big Mom ends up taking the treasure because Eustace Kid is out there sinking ships.
Oh, that was sick too.
That was a sick little drop. A little Easter egg, Then they find out that there's a bomb in the treasure.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
I mean, Big Mom's already pissed, but now they gave her a bomb.
Yeah, she's definitely going to open it herself.
100%.
100%, yeah.
Caribou's still there, unfortunately, and he tries to get his shit back and then just gets defeated. He probably, and we'll save it for our theory section, but he probably will definitely, most likely come back, and that information will become of some greater importance later on, but as of right now, he seems pretty unimportant.
Oh, yeah.
Then we get to see the red line of ships surface, and we get to see Captain Tashigi, now Captain,
Sick.
and Vice Admiral Smoker? Vice Admiral? Bruh is rising up the ranks, dude. When we saw him, he's up there, dude. He's been putting in work. He's been hustling. I love that. This whole time they've been doing their thing and they've been getting stronger and they've been rising up. This is so sick. Madame Charlie destroys her crystal ball, dude. She says, "I don't want to see the future anymore."
Bye.
And Kami, who's sitting right next to me, says, is she doing that because she trusts in Luffy and believes in Luffy? Or is it because she's scared of what she saw? And she doesn't want to choose to believe that that's going to be the events that happen. We got a new log pose.
Yeah, the 3 log pose.
One of the funniest jokes in the whole arc.
Yeah. The pure terror I felt reading it. I could see on their faces.
This is sick. We got to make this new log pose. We gotta make it. They basically find out that it kind of points towards islands that are, it's sort of a danger tracker, or it'll tell you, which island is going to be the most dangerous.
Yeah,
the
more
3.
on the fritz it is, the more dangerous the island. So Nami's like, listening to him, and he's like, only a good navigator really has a hold on it and give really sense, whatever. And but if they get woggly, then it's for sure not a good island. And Luffy never really overhears conversations unless it's about food or something he's interested in. So they're like talking, and then Luffy's like over Nami's shoulder, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome! Like, let's that island is for sure crazy. Then let's go." He
snakes around her. He wraps around her like a freaking snake, and he's like, "Ooh!" And she's like, her face is like, "No."
She's like, "We're dead.
Yeah, we're dead."
Usopp's like, "We're done. We're done."
Him and Chopper.
And she's like, "I'm the navigator. I'm gonna say where we go." And he goes, "Well, I'm the captain, so I'm gonna actually say where we go." And I was like, "Oh my god,
Yikes.
Here we go." Jinbe, why can't you just get on the ship now? You can only want to talk sense in a friggin' Luffy.
This is where Luffy and his crew, Pinky, promise Shirahoshi before leaving Fishman Island that they will, if they ever run into her again, that they will take her on an even more grand adventure.
Cute.
And Neptune tells the Neptune brothers to never forget the debt that they owe the Straw Hats. Luffy looks upon the new world as they rise to the surface and recognizes it as the same sea that Shanks is on, the mightiest sea in the world. And it's off to the new world.
Woo!
The end. Really quickly, we said a lot of
excited.
I'm so excited too. We said a lot of our general thoughts in the kind of Merphy section, and we were kind of talking about our highlighted moments. But for me, this is such a beautiful way again to tell this story.
Yes.
Looking back on Merphy's previous video that she had made, she made a great point, which is that, and we had kind of already mentioned it in our part 1 video, but to see them kind of in the same destination, in the same place, Saboti, they were there and they got beat and then had to come back to the same place to show how much stronger they had gotten to then go to Fishman Island to again display that strength, their growth, their new moves, and then to conquer the new world, or to go towards conquering the new world, or set out to attempt to conquer the new world. I mean, this is again, Merphy said it, but I completely agree. This is great storytelling. This is fantastic storytelling. I loved everything about this arc. I understand a lot of people's problems come from the villains. I think we've made our point as to why we think he is a decent villain. He's maybe not a memorable villain, but I think that's also not the point. He is he is an idea. He is a cautionary tale. He is not a character like maybe not even like definitely not like a Buggy, or definitely not like a I'm trying to think of another memorable villain that we've met, a Magellan, who is maybe or a Hannibal, for example. Those are just popping into my head. Or who's a better example of a really, or even an Arlong, or there's so many. But I mean, we just did our antagonist list. I don't know why these aren't fresher in my mind.
He's not like a Kiro. He's not like Captain Kiro. He's not like an Akainu.
Yeah. In terms of like being memorable, but
being strong.
Yes, I think that ultimately for me, this arc again is important. Means so much. Was done so well. We do get that awesome moment of the Strides coming all back together multiple times. We get to see it kind of like a little bit at a time until this big fucking awesome final panel of them all together, stronger on the outside, but the same Straw Hats we love on the inside. This is how you do it. This was a great return to form, return to the series. This arc, I think, for me right now, currently where we're at, is one of my favorites. It's up there. Like if we were doing a tier list, I mean, I would question whether we would put it on A or even S. That's how good this arc was, and how powerful, absolutely powerful this arc was for me. Mehgan, I want to hear kind of more of your thoughts, or any other thoughts, final thoughts, more general thoughts you have before we get into our theory section and then end this episode.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much ditto to a lot of the things you said. I said them kind of before too. I liked Hody because of what he represented, not necessarily him as a villain. I liked how Oda was able to go from showing us these really strong villains and showing us, villains that have backstories and meanings behind why they're doing what they're doing, or they, have something they want to gain from it. That doesn't have to do with like disposing of another type of people, I guess. Don't quote me on that. But it was cool to hear him say, nothing, like nothing happened to me. Nothing made me, choose this because of something else that happened to another person. Like it was just through learning and through, a generational thing of everyone telling him that this is the way to think, that made him the person he was, and he was a product of his environment. And it was really, really cool to see that type of villain in One Piece. And obviously all of the very deep, layered themes throughout this arc that I was really not expecting. And, people were saying, Arlong is such an important character, like later on, though, I mean, much later on. And I really never really understood what they meant. Maybe that was a spoiler in itself, but it was totally paid. And again, you think that Oda is not done, but every time you think he can't do it better, he does, with a character coming back or a character's backstory. Again, speaking into the next arc, Punk Hazard, I think for sure, I mean, this is not a spoiler because we saw it, but Law is returning, and hopefully we get to see his backstory too. I'm really looking forward to that because again,
I think we are. I saw little baby Law,
baby Law,
little baby Law.
But I'm so excited, and I adore that about what Oda can do. And overall, I agree with you. This arc really, really, really was, it is in the top for me for sure. And after this, when they go into the new world, like any fin is possible.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, when people, I got to give you some credit. Okay. But, my joke was going to be, or not joke, but my little, just me being silly, my little way
you're being silly?
My little way of playing around, was going to be enough. Thriller Bark is like nothing happened, but Fishman Island is nothing. So it's nothing happened versus nothing, you know. And I think that they're both arcs that people kind of dismiss or quick to dismiss. But I think that both of them are significant.
Yeah, but nothing happened is a joke, though.
So is me calling it nothing.
It's a joke, though.
So is me calling it
but it's like nothing. A joke. Do you get the joke? I don't think you do.
I see what you're doing here. You're trying to make me look like a fucking big mom again.
You literally rewind the tape, guys.
You're trying to make me look like a big mom. And I just want to say I look heavier than I am right now because I'm wearing fucking this shark suit. The shark suit right here. Which
yeah, I'm not trying.
You're not trying what? You're not trying
to make
what?
You look like a big mom.
Okay, thank you. I'm so excited for the next arc. I'm so excited to finally, learn some more about my boy Law. I can't fucking wait. Mehgan, do you have any theories or anything?
I mean, I pretty much kind of said maybe Luffy is, some type of chosen one, or maybe he does have like Fishman blood in his veins.
Oh yeah, I wanted to hear that. You could elaborate a little bit on that. Did you?
Maybe he's like, like they said, like maybe his mom was like a fish person. You never know because they said they can look like anything. They can.
That was a big thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
In our first video.
And I think Alexander Arts just said like because Oda wanted to draw them all in a style or like a different way, so they wouldn't all have to look the same,
Gotcha.
Which I totally understand. But I don't know. I mean, again, it could just be the similarity between him and Goldie Roger, how he's able to hear these Neptunian things. It might have something to do with the Conqueror's hockey. I don't know, but yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
And now that he has more, fish person blood in his veins, because if you already had it before,
maybe it's gonna be. I mean, this fool has fucking Ivankov's steroids in him, hormones in him. He's got Jinbe's blood in him. This is about to fuck around.
He's got Magellan's poison in him.
Magellan's poison in him. I mean, he's about to become something crazy. Like, I mean, this guy, he's got everything. Luffy is the One Piece. Done. Solved. He's got it all, dude. He's got Fishman blood in him. He's got Magellan's poison in him. He's gonna get so much more shit in him too. By the end, I bet Luffy's gonna be full of shit. He's gonna
be full of shit. Imagine if Luffy ends up being like a weapon.
Oh,
an ancient weapon.
Oh, damn. That's what I'm saying. Like, we were talking about Luffy, inheriting the title of Joy Boy, somehow. But what if he is like one of the ancient weapons, dude? That'd be fucking crazy, dude. What if he's like Uranus or something? Or the other one, Pluto or Pluton.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That would be crazy. I mean, it's because it's clear to me now. That's what I was going to say. Like, I'm kind of like,
and that's why the government doesn't want people to go after the One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe when you obtain the One Piece, you become an ancient weapon.
I don't want to never say never. I don't know. I think it might be a little more, if it is kind of like that, maybe it's a little more complicated than that. But I do.
Obviously. I'm just stating the basics.
Okay.
I wasn't meaning it to be attitude-y. I was just stating the basics.
But yeah, this opens up so many things. This makes the world so much bigger and expands on so much more of the lore.
Yes,
obviously,
really
I
does.
think the rest of the ancient weapons are obviously, like you said, creatures, people, Neptunian, something. I don't know. I mean, I feel like things are just getting started because I guess they are. And I know we got what is coming up next. I know we got Punk Hazard. And then Dressrosa.
Yeah.
So I'm more lit than ever. I don't know how I can continue. I don't know how I continue to be this fucking excited after every review. I don't know. I'm waiting to be like, yeah, I'm excited, but not as excited. I mean, every time I'm like more and more and more. Give me more and more and more.
You could say you whaley need it.
Okay, I like it. That's going to do it for our Fishman Island episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the Merphy segment that we had at the very beginning of the episode. Hopefully you liked seeing her back. We had a lot of people asked to get her back.
Yeah.
We reached out last minute and she responded. Shout outs to Merphy for being a real one, for being awesome and getting back to us so soon and being a part of this episode. It was a pleasure to have her. It's always a pleasure to have her and talk to her. She is fantastic and wonderful. Obviously, you know where to check her out and see all of her stuff at. But there'll be links just in case you don't. The only thing we have left to do before we get out of here is to shout out and to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing, our Patreon members. Thank every single one of you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank
it is
you
because
guys.
of you that we were able to do the things that we were able to do. I know this is kind of
Yeah.
I know this is kind of silly, you know, this shark costume.
I mean,
but,
the freaking what's the brand called again?
The criminal brand.
Criminal brand fit check. I
Yeah.
mean, we're able to do this stuff because of you guys.
Yeah, we're able to do this stuff because of you guys. I mean, it might not seem, you know, it might seem like a lot or it might not seem like a lot. I don't know. But we put our whole you-know-what's into these things and we try to have fun and we try to do, you know, things that hopefully you find entertaining and are just silly. And we like to talk about these things and the meaning that they hold, but to do it in our own kind of fun way. And you guys allow us and give us the financial freedom to do that and to invest in these things to hopefully make for a better show. And so this show is what it is at the level that it's at because of you. It is literally because of you. All right. Especially on these One Piece videos. You know, we've seen so much love, so much support, and it means the fucking world to us. You guys have made this experience so much more enjoyable and so much more of an experience to get to share it with all of you. This, you know, it touches us deeply. So thank you again to all of our Patreon members from the bottom of our heart. We love you so fucking much. So much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if you would like to become, if you're not a Patreon member and you'd like to become one, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod or click join on this video to become a YouTube member. That gets you early access to all of our episodes and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, where we talk about everything that's available in both places at our lowest tier, patreon.com/volume1pod, or become a YouTube member by clicking join on this video. However, if you can't at this moment in time support us financially, please do not worry at all one little bit. There are plenty of other things you could do to help support us that mean the literal same amount and mean the literal same amount to us. And Mehgan will tell you what some of those things you can absolutely do for free $99 are now.
If you have no pearls to spare, don't even trip about it, player.
Fam?
All you have to do, fam was better. I said player. I was taking it back a little bit. Anyway, if you have, no money at all, no problem at all, you can do a lot of things to help us and, support us for free. All you have to do is comment on any one of our videos. It could be this video. It could be any one of the ones on our backlog. And it really does help out our algorithm out a lot. Commenting, liking. If you're not subscribed, why not subscribe? We do a lot of cool stuff here. And I'm pretty sure if you like anime or manga, you probably like all the stuff that we do. Other than One Piece. But if you like One Piece, stick around because we're doing the whole thing. And you can comment and share this video with anyone that likes One Piece too. And that's all free stuff you can do to help our channel out.
Yes. Anything, watching to the very end, sharing, all reviews, any comments, any and all things mean so much and matter so much, especially longer form videos helps out a lot. So thank you, no matter how you show your support. Now, the only thing left to do is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today, Mehgan, is...
Fishman Island was Gilliant. Like brilliant.
I like it. What about like Fishman Island really was deep? You know?
Really was deep sea.
Deep sea? I'm not going to do that.
I'm
not going to do that.
Why not?
Okay. All right. Fishman Island was really deep sea. Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's funny.
Okay. All right. You got me. All right. You had to convince me to like the thing I said because I had little to no faith in it.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, Fishman Island really was deep. See?
Fishman Island was deep, see, and I won't say anything about it. I'll die on the grave of
on to Punk Hazard. Punk Hazard, here we come. Law, here we come. Law, you don't have to wait for me anymore. I'm almost there.